Hi, friends. Happy Thursday. We are continuing our Toy Story week with the new Lego Toy Story sets that drop in May. Yesterday, we built out the alien on the rocket ship, which was super cool. Today, we are going to dive into Lotso. So, I'm going to get started just to make sure that we're going through all of these because tomorrow, and actually later today, we will continue with the Bookends, which is the one with Slinky Dog. And I want to make sure that we make some progress on that one today, too. So, for starters, this one comes with a book that's relatively thick, and it's interesting to see it this way. But it makes sense because it's just the one character. I don't know. It felt a little bit like a storybook to me, which I thought was kind of fun. Lotso has a lot of posability, so I'm very excited about this build, and think that this is going to be a really fun one to have on display. So curious from y'all, what is it that you're excited about in terms of these Lego sets or other Lego sets that have been announced recently? Are there any that really pique your interest and that you're looking forward to seeing? We obviously just got back from Paris and had a wonderful trip. I know we talked a little bit about that yesterday on the stream, but today I can share a little bit more, which is fun. So, yesterday we talked a little bit about how Giverny was my favorite part of the trip, which was so cool to get to see the beauty of everything created by Monet, both the gardens, which are really incredible and breathtaking, and then, of course, also the paintings, which are phenomenal. That was by far the best part of the trip for sure. But we had lots of other adventures while we were there too. So, another adventure that we had that I thought was really fun, I shared a reel of both a reel and then a YouTube short of today or yesterday, depending on which platform. And we took with us the Paris set, so the new Paris architecture set that is called Paris City of Love. It's beautiful. And we built it while overlooking the Eiffel Tower from our incredible Airbnb location. So the place that we stayed was through a company called Paris Perfect, and this is not sponsored or anything. I wish it was. That'd be great. But instead, we paid them to stay there. It was a really really cool place, though. Wonderful views. A breathtaking view of the Eiffel Tower from the balcony, which was really cool. And so we built the set in front of that one night, and while we did, we also watched some Disney movies, classic Disney films in French, which was fun. So, Beauty and the Beast, of course. And then we watched The Hunchback of Notre Dame, which Philip had never seen, which is interesting. Um, but yeah, it was a really, really fun evening. We had a great time. There were four of us on the trip, so Philip and I, and then our two best friends, Marianne and Sean. And we were there actually for Marianne's birthday, so it was a really fun birthday experience. So yeah, we had a really good time though. And yeah, very excited to finally get to share that video. That's what I was taking forever editing the other day. It was just like a very time intensive process to do, because I had like 4 hours of footage to cut down into about a minute. But I'm so glad to have that up because it was just like one of the best parts of the experience. And honestly, it makes that set even more um, fun and meaningful to have, because it's more than just we got home and bought the set as a fun memory of our trip, but we also built it while we were there, which was really, really cool. So, kudos to Marianne for being okay with that as a part of the trip, since the trip was really centered around her birthday, which was really fun. And also she helped out with like some of the filming and stuff as we were like building it. I was like, hey, can you help me with like getting this set up? And she had some fun ideas about like where to put the camera and that kind of stuff. So we had a really really good time. Highly highly recommend. Um let's see. So far, building out the kind of inside part of Lotso. So we're getting some kind of just general structural pieces and things. And yeah, things are, let's see, there we go. Okay, I wanted to see where the timer was. There we go. Okay, cool. So we are live, which is good. But yeah, building out the internal structure, I'm sure. I'm guessing we are starting more with his belly because we're getting a lot of these tan parts. And the tan parts, as you can see, are going to kind of wrap around here. This one has 5 bags, I think. And if I remember correctly, it is $39.99. So it'll be available on store shelves um, May 1st. So one of the really, really exciting May releases that's not Star Wars. There's always, of course, an abundance of really cool sets that release in April and then May in advance of Star Wars Day, May the 4th. And so, of course, that's always something that we look forward to seeing and potentially getting some of the sets. But this is one of the ones that's Pixar and Disney, not Star Wars and Disney. All right. So we're getting some Technic type parts on the inside of this core. What I found with Lego Masters, actually, one of the things they talked with us about ahead of time was thinking about using Technic on the inside of your core because it's good for stability and also it's lesser weight because you can have more space around it potentially. So I'd love to see kind of how that shows up in different Lego sets and models and things. Yeah, lots of fun colors in here too, which is always nice. I had seen someone complain recently that they didn't like that there's lots of different colors on the inside of a set, and I think that's such an interesting take. I don't understand why that bothers them. To me, it's a very helpful visual um, tools for us to be able to say, okay, this part is blue and this part goes next to the pink part and that kind of thing. And that's, I think, why Lego does it is A, just to give people some fun colors in their sets that are maybe mostly gray or whatever, but B, to help you visually know where you're at within your build. So I thought that was a weird take for them to be upset about that. But also, there's people in the world who have big takes on all kinds of random things. So, to each their own, to each their own. This has a lot of snot building techniques so far. Not a surprise there, of course. And I'm curious to see, I'm wondering if these yellow Technic axle pieces, where the axles will fit inside, if that's going to be related to maybe the arms, possibly. Like this might go this way and the arms connect. I don't know. We will see once we get to that point. But yeah, have there been any announcements about Lego sets that you're really excited about? I always love to kind of hear from people about what they're looking forward to. Also, a good number of people participated in the build challenge this month, and so I'm really excited after this live stream. Today, I'll go back into Instagram and I will be sharing all those different great builds to my stories, and that way you can see everybody else who participated and give them kudos in their comments, of course. We want to support everybody who puts themselves out there with creativity, so thank you to those of you who did participate. And for those of you who are on the fence, who are waiting for the right moment, I will have a new tutorial out for our May prompt coming up soon. My goal is to try and have the prompt up by the 20th of the month. And that way you've got from that day until the 15th of the month, the next month. So basically the entire of the One Piece season 2 wave. Oh my gosh, for real. Very excited about that. We actually haven't started watching that season yet. And I know when we do, we're going to be really excited to better understand all the references that I'm seeing in those Lego sets. They look amazing. And I love that they have a lot of minifigure sets, but then also there's the brick built characters. That's something I'm super, super excited for. So that is fun. Have you watched the whole season yet, Brandon? It's been on the list to get started on soon, but we have a lot of shows that we watch, and so I haven't made time for that one yet. And actually, I was surprised that it was out already when I first found out because I thought it was going to be later this year. So that was a nice surprise to hear. Really, really enjoyed season 1. I think we ended up watching it twice because we watched it, just at the beginning of the year when we were getting excited about the show, and then after LEGO sent the sets for that season, we rewatched them as we were building them, which was even more fun because then you could see in real time all the references that they built into the sets. Really well done. The Baratier is phenomenal. Chef's kiss on that for sure. And also the Going Merry ship, so cool. On your Netflix profile, you're still on season 1. Okay, your mom is on season 2, episode 5. Nice, good stuff. I love that she also watches it. That's really fun. We actually don't know too actually, I don't think we know anybody in real life, like, not in, online world, who watches the show, so, that's interesting to hear, that your mom watches it because, yeah, I think it's just Philip and I, um, and that may not be true. I just think maybe I haven't talked to people in person about it, so maybe I should ask at our lug meeting because I bet there's a lot of fans, that I've watched, so as for the anime, I'm on episode 6. Nice. We have not dove into that, and I don't think we will just because there's so much volume there to get through. And so I think it'd be really challenging to eventually get through them. But I don't know. We'll see. Maybe someday. Okay, this is fun. In here on the inside of Lotso, we're building these little stacks of 1 by 1 studs. And let me just show you the stack I just built so that you can see what this is a reference to. It might be hard to tell, but it goes blue, then yellow, then light nugget, and then brown. So this is Woody. Over here, the first one that we did was a stack of 3 brown that I'm not sure what character that would be. I was trying to think if there's like a brown teddy bear, but I don't think so. Maybe that's a reference to Slinky Dog, but I don't think so either because I feel like there should be silver in there. And then on the opposite side, beside that 3 stack of oh, maybe that's Mr. Potato Head. That could be Mr. Potato Head. This next one is Jesse, it looks like. Um, so got the red hat. So iconic colors for Jesse. So smart. So that one goes here. I'm guessing that's Mr. Potato Head, but I don't know. Oh, I bet that's Bullseye. That's gotta be who this is Bullseye. Makes perfect sense. Okay. And then, of course, these 3 that every time I see this color combination, I instantly think of Buzz Lightyear. I feel like it was such a smart move for them to go with those colors because they're so iconic. So yeah, just like take a look at that. That's really cute. It's Woody and Buzz. And then we flip it around and we've got Jesse and I'm assuming Bullseye. So cute, cute. I love hidden details like that. You watched the anime because of FanFest nights. Awesome. Yeah, we watch a ton of shows and movies in our house, and we have a lot of series that we watch regularly. Oh, there's a little strawberry on the inside. That's just like a hidden detail that doesn't matter. I love it when those things are just thrown in. But yeah, because we watch so many other shows, um, it's hard to pick up any series that's long like that has a long, um, has many, many episodes. We one that we did pick up last year and that we haven't gotten back to is Batman the Animated Series, which that's kind of true. I had actually started watching it on my own when we found out that the Gotham City Mosaic was coming out, and it was really fun and nostalgic and I was loving it. And one day Philip came in and saw what I was watching and he was like, "Oh, I want to watch this with you." And so I stopped like, I don't know, 16 episodes in or so. And there's a lot of episodes in that. And then we got the set, and the set is set up where every bag of the set is associated with a specific episode from the show. And so instead of watching them straightforward, we decided to do the process of watching the episodes that are associated with each bag, which was really, really fun experience. And that got us through, I want to say 19 episodes because I think there were 19 bags in the first half. And then we paused and haven't come back to it. But because we've been watching them out of order by doing it through the Lego bags from the set, it also made it really confusing to know where to pick up because like we could start watching again from the beginning, but we'd probably skip the ones we'd already seen. And since they're episodic, so like villain of the week type thing where they have a story, they have a villain that they is involved maybe for 1 or 2 episodes, and then it moves on to the next story. But it's not like a long overarching story necessarily. It's pretty easy to just kind of bounce around through it. But yeah, I do want to go back through and rewatch the ones that we haven't seen yet. And I don't know if I'll do that through the lens of the build process that we were doing, where it's one for every bag, or if we'll just move on and do something else. Because while that was fun, it was a lot of effort and time, and it made the build process really slow. Um, and we've got a lot to build and a lot of other things to watch too. So anyhow, that's the only recent one I think that we've picked up that has a lot of episodes. And now Philip is having me start Buffy the Vampire Slayer because for him, that is one of his most nostalgic favorite series ever. And I just didn't watch it growing up. And so we'll be going through that together. And that's, I want to say, 7 seasons. And the episodes are around 45 minutes long. So it takes a little bit longer for that one, too. Um, so yeah, so that's another series that's going to take some time. But when you say that you watched because of FanFest nights, tell me more about that. So I'm guessing that they have a One Piece thing at FanFest. Is that right? They must, I would imagine. And when was this that you started the anime? Was it after the live action or before? Just lost my page. Here we are. Okay, there we go. I also find in general that a lot of the media that I end up watching has to do with Lego releasing products for them. So, for instance, Bluey, I was familiar with but didn't know too much about. And when they announced that they were going to do a Bluey partnership, I started to watch just a couple episodes here and there, and then I got hooked. And it's so good. It is so full of emotion and just a beautiful story. And Lego didn't send me any of the sets to build for review or anything, but I still went and bought the poly bag that comes with Bluey because I wanted to have a Bluey minifigure for our winter village. And it's such a positive, like happy, wonderful, thoughtful show. It's so good. But that's also like only 3 seasons, and those episodes are real short. So, and then I also have watched a lot of Monkey Kid and Dreams, also because of Lego, and a little bit of Friends as well, the new generation. Friends shows. So those are all Lego IP. So obviously a little bit different than just like a standard TV show or whatever. But still a lot of fun. And I love just kind of exploring and seeing things that are really big and important to other people, and then better understanding like some of the references that other people have when they talk about those shows or whatever. So Bluey, though, by far was one of my favorites. It's just like so cute. He said last year it was just a meet and greet with the Straw Hat Pirates. Oh, fun! But this year there's a mini bar, a restaurant overlay, and the eponymous stunt show at the. Oh, that's what you were saying yesterday. Now that is really cool, and I love kind of the how they've expanded upon what they did last year. FFN was conceived after the live action shows sparked interest for the anime. What is FanFest nights? Gotcha. Also because Universal Studios Japan had One Piece representation since 2008. That's awesome. That's also one of the things that, like, I would say international travel always brings to me as well is the reality of people around the world having very different cultural references and experiences and hype around all different types of things, which is really, really fun. Okay, this is super sleek. So, as you can see with Lotso, his sides kind of taper in, so it like curves around like a pear shape. And I want to show you how this is done. So let's see. Let me remove this part I just attached. There we go. So on the inside, whoops, let me figure out where that goes. Here we go. On the inside where we had Buzz and Woody that you can see right there in the middle, just below them there are those bars that are attached to those plates, and then up here there's this bar. And so on this thing, there's a clip here and then 2 clips here. Here we go. And this clips up here into the top, and then it's gonna slide down and snap into place on that other set of bars. But that is really nice. So that's creating that smooth, interesting angle that we see for Lotso. That's like such an interesting technique, one I hadn't seen recently. So, and then inside that window, we see there's the little ball for the ball joint type thing, and that'll probably attach. Looks like that's going to attach the arms. So, but really cool. And also by putting the window around it, it also probably restricts the movement of the arms a little bit, which is purposeful and probably makes a lot of sense. So, really cool. Good job, Lego. I love this kind of stuff. All right, I seem to. Oh, and then this goes on. Okay, so this goes on here. So now we've got this bottom portion, and you can see it's kind of shaping that rounded shape. And then this is going to go right there, kind of filling in that gap. That is really sleek. Good job, Lego. Most of the short string fan fest nights in the DreamWorks Theater were from USJ, especially Jujutsu Kaisen and Sailor Moon. That's really cool. That's really, really fun. Universal Studios Japan. Nice. Have you been to Universal Studios Japan? I love how much knowledge you have about all these different things. It's really interesting, and I appreciate that you're willing to like share it in the chat. It's like really fun for me and hopefully for everyone else to learn too. So one interesting piece about this being a book is it doesn't lay flat, like it doesn't open flat, so it keeps wanting to close on me, and that's something that I do not like so much. I'm going to use my cell phone as a paperweight, but that is a minor complaint I would have. And that's true with any of the large books that come with Lego sets, but for some reason with the smaller ones, they close a little bit easier too. So you've seen videos of the park, but haven't been. I was going to say, I want to know all about your trip if you've been to Japan. That's really cool. We have not been to any of Asia yet. That is on the list. I was supposed to travel for work back in 2020 and was supposed to go to Malaysia and to Shanghai. And then that got canceled because of a little thing called COVID that ruined everything with the trip. So I was really disappointed because I was very much looking forward to going and visiting my colleagues there and seeing that site. But at the same time, obviously, it was better for me to be safe at home. So you've been to Japan on an overlay from the Philippines. That is so cool. Even the fact that you've been to the Philippines is really cool to me. We need to find some way someday to make our way over to Asia. We've explored a lot of Europe, and we went to Costa Rica as well for a work trip that I had. But otherwise, those have been our international trips. So I've been to Hungary for a work trip, and then Philip and I have been to Denmark twice, to London 3 times, 2 or 3 times, and to now to Paris and Amsterdam for a day, which was our flight got canceled, our connecting flight in Amsterdam, and so we had a magical extra day there, which was so cool. So and made us just for sure want to go back. So okay, we're going to continue with, it looks like the other side. I'm really loving the shape of this. Like it's really an interesting and clever shape there. So Brennan, I'm curious. I know that we had talked yesterday about how I was going to be live streaming today around this time. Did you join because you saw that I had started the live stream, or did you join just because you knew that I was going to start it at 1:30? I'm asking because I am surprised that there's a few other people who said they were going to be here that aren't here yet. So wasn't sure if it showed that ping to people that I'm live or not. I never really understand how the back end of this process works. You saw the link via Instagram. Oh, okay, cool. Well, that's cool. I'm glad that you saw it that way. people who subscribe to my YouTube are supposed to get a note saying that the live stream has started. And I know a few people rely on that to let them know when I'm live that like normally join. So like JJ and a few others. I'm just going to quickly message Zach to see if he saw it. Um, let's see. Actually, it's fine. I'll just leave it be. Um, I just don't know. Actually, here, I think my email also it reminds me. It'll say like Justin is live. I'm like, I'm Justin. I know that. So let's see. No, it didn't send it this time. I don't know why. That is so weird. Okay. Um, I'll just put a note that says
Friends, we have so
yeah, I'm just gonna put a quick note in Instagram now saying live now in case people wanted to join. Thanks for your patience. So, what brought you to the Philippines? And how many times have you been? All right. Yay, this Lotso is so cute. Let me do the link. We'll go to my YouTube to find the link. Also, sometimes when I do this, my AirPods switch to my phone. Okay, copy link. All right. Join here. Ta-da. All right. You got a friend in me. Of course, you have to have a song, and it has to be the Toy Story song. All right, done. Done and done. Cool. Anyway, yeah, why have you been to Philippines? What brought you there? That's really, really cool. And are there other places on your like to visit list someday? Like, what's on your wish list to go to? Okay, so we'll connect this one in. Gosh, that is so cool. It's just so interesting the way that that shaping is made, and so different than I think what people typically think of with stacking bricks. So, such a neat experience to build stuff like this. All right, let's see. I think you missed ours. I did miss your response in the chat. Sorry. Oh yeah, let's see. Um, you've been there 4 times. Oh, to visit your nene. That's awesome. Or is it nane or nene? I know you can't verbally tell me, but I'm gonna say nane. And let me know if I'm wrong. Uh, but that's really cool. A great experience to, and also I love when people have the opportunity to go and visit family that live in other countries. I think that it helps broaden your mind and your perspective. Nanai, awesome, Nanai. Thank you. I really appreciate that. Um, it really helps broaden our perspectives and better understand how the world is vast and how there's all different types of lived experiences around the world. And I think a lot of people who don't grow up with family that live in different places miss out on that. And so that's part of why I really value travel is the opportunity to explore and experience different cultures and see and understand how things are so different than what we grew up with, and that's a good thing. That's a wonderful thing in our lives. So that's I love that you had that experience. Okay, we are building in his belly. In the tan color, which is going to be fun. You'd love to visit Denmark. I highly recommend that. It's an amazing country. We've had the most fun ever on those experiences and those trips. And there's more to do than just Lego there. Obviously, there's plenty of really cool Lego things to do there, but there's also so much more to do as well. So, highly recommend. And yeah, um, hope that you get a chance to do so someday. I am a little confused because these parts that I was thinking might be connected to legs or whatever get covered up. I don't understand why we used those, but that's okay. I want to see if I missed something, but I don't think I did. That's really odd. And you don't like it, they don't come through on the other side. So I don't really understand the purpose for that other than just maybe showing a new technique. I don't know. So, all right. Done with the first portion of him. I'm gonna put him here. I'm gonna move my coffee so that people can see. There we go. And then we'll open bag two. It's a color-coded indication of which body part connects to. It definitely could be, but it's just an odd part decision to include those Technic axle type pieces on the inside when there's not a purpose beyond just color coding. Like I think the color coding usually is just in the form of like a 1x2 plate or whatever, and that is just a different thing than I was expecting to see there. So, but that's fun. Um, let's see. Okay, so we're stacking a lot of these um, brackets and plates and snot bricks. Do that 3 times. When you say you want to visit Denmark, is that because of Lego, or are there other things that you were really wanting to experience and explore there? I'm really curious to know. Hello, whoever just joined. Good to see you. Thanks for joining. We are building Lotso, which is one of the new Toy Story sets that releases in Lego stores on May 1st. So that is what we're diving into today. So far, I'm done with bag one. Moved on to bag two, and there's 5 bags total. But I just want to show you this shaping, this like curved, rounded shaping, is really unique and is done in a very interesting way using clips and bars. So yes, it's because I want to see Lego headquarters, the house, and various places. All wonderful things. I highly recommend. We have loved our experiences going. The first time that we went was before I was a Lego ambassador, and we were just AFOLs, Lego fans, and Philip and I had a wonderful trip that time. And then the next time I went was this year, this last year, I guess, 2025, and it was for Lego Fan Media Days. So that was such a treat and such a different experience, being more on the inside with Lego, that we got to see and experience some things that I don't think we would have seen before. So that includes Legoland Billund, as it should for sure. The OG Legoland theme park, which is so cool. There are parts of it that really do feel very retro and throwback. Oops. And then there are parts that feel new and nice and tailored and fixed and upgraded and things. And they do that, I'm sure, because, or I think the pressure to upgrade the park as well has come over time as the excitement around Legoland grows over time, but then also as more people come to Billund to experience all things Lego House and Lego in general. So really, really fun stuff. I would love to go back when we have more time to spend in Billund, as well. Although, I mean, we've had plenty of time there both times, but still. Legoland California kept a lot of the retro element as well. That is so fun. Hi, Missy. How's it going? Good to see you. I was at HEB today and I thought of y'all because I passed the greeting card section and I thought, oh, I wonder if y'all do HEB. Hi, Bev. If y'all have HEB stores on your list of places that you also take care of. So let me know. We are building Lotso. Ta-da! So cute. And I just have to say, this part was the coolest part to me. I don't know if I can undo. Oh, I can. So this clips on here on the red, and then down there it clips into the side. And by doing so, it creates this really interesting curved rounded shape, which is so different. Not anymore. Does that mean, I think you are unlisted. I never saw a notification, just checked Instagram and saw the link. Okay, so I was assuming that happened because it didn't pop up. When you say unlisted, I wonder if that's something that I can toggle or change now, or if it's too late. Let me go to channel content and see. Oh, yeah, it says unlisted. I didn't realize that. Okay, I'm gonna make this public. Thank you for saying that. Publish. I didn't realize that they were listed as unlisted. I'm gonna do it to this one too. Hmm, good to know. Okay, well, now it says live now. This is really okay. Thank you. Okay, gotcha. Interesting. Thank you for sharing though. Um, Okay, let me know if you get a notification now, if you don't mind, just because I'm curious on if while I'm live, if I change it to listed, if it flips that and reflects that or not. So, but thank you, and also hi. I'm so glad that y'all have joined. We are having a really good time with this build. It's really cute so far, and I am so excited about the posability with it. I think it's really good. You refresh the page, awesome. Um, Yeah, I think unlisted is if you want to do a private stream, and I just got the live stream. Okay, good. I'm glad you just got the notification. Thank you for letting me know. Because again, I was talking with Brandon about like I know that a lot of people rely on the notification to know. Hello, Zach. We just learned something new, and by we I mean I, and by learned I mean Missy taught me. So with this stream. I somehow, when I was setting it up, made it a unlisted stream, which means that more or less anyone can join, but it's not going to tell people that I'm live. And so it didn't notify people that I had went live yet. And I now, once I learned that, was able to toggle that to be live. And so it just did the notification to people that I've been live. So it's been me and Brandon. We've been having a good time. So Brandon, thanks for keeping me company. Y'all are all so wonderful in this community. Um, so yeah. Anyhow, we were talking about travel and other places around the world where we've been or want to go. And Brandon was sharing about his experience in the Philippines and how he wants to go to Denmark. So I am curious to y'all, where do you all want to go? And also, that could be within the United States as well. Doesn't have to be outside of it. Um, but I've got travel on the brain, of course. So, all right, this is interesting. We're getting this part that is like one of the parts that usually is used for kind of rotating heads or whatever. But given how tall this is, I'm not quite sure what that'll be for. You know what? Maybe this is the inside of the head. This might be the inside of the head. I don't know. We'll see. We shall see. Um, Also, a question I asked at the very beginning of the stream when it was just me was, "What are you excited about the Toy Story sets? If so, which ones and why?" Because I know we talked a little bit about that yesterday, but um, all right, so cool. So that attaches in here. I'm guessing this is part of the head, but it does look like the head is going to be able to rotate. So I think that's going to rotate on this piece here. Maybe it'll just be the front of the face that rotates a little bit. I don't know. Really interesting approach. Well, I'm glad that my ping on Facebook or on Instagram that I added shortly, or just shortly, was helpful enough to get a few of y'all to see that because the notification clearly wasn't working the way that I thought it was. So now I know for the future. The more you know. Right. I love this pink color. And am excited that this set has so much of it in it. The thing that I find funny about that anytime I'm talking about like parts and colors and stuff is that like I love this pink color. I'm also never gonna take Lotso apart. So, it's great that it comes with all these parts that are wonderful and colorful, and they're gonna stay there. So, that's more of a note for people who are gonna unbuild it or buy it just for the parts, so. Usually go visit your family in Connecticut. You don't go visit often. You'd like to see the Grand Canyon. Okay, I love that so much. When I was very young, we went to see the Grand Canyon. So I would love to go see it again now that I'm an adult because I think it would have a bigger impact on me. I think I'm just too young to fully remember and experience a lot of it. So that would be on my list as well. That's a fun one. Let's see. Zach says, I would like to visit Canada. Hey, me too. I've never been and honestly would like to confide myself in North America to North America. Overseas travel kind of still scares me. Hey, totally fair. Our first trip, I was both excited and scared, which reminds me of a Sondheim song from Into the Woods. But I was nervous for sure, and I was so grateful that that trip was with Philip to, London, where people speak English, so that was, like, the easiest of easy places to go, but still kinda scary, and then on to Denmark on that same trip, after we'd spent some time in London, and also Denmark, even though they speak Danish, many of them speak English as well, so very easy to navigate as a non-native speaker. But I say all that to say it was scary and it was challenging to navigate it and whatnot. So I highly recommend it at some point, but I also fully respect and understand the nerves that can go into international travel. After that trip, my next trip was to Hungary by myself, and I was really nervous. And it was for work, and I was just kind of I don't know, I was very nervous about it, and it ended up being a wonderful trip, and it also gave me a lot more confidence in my ability to travel and navigate the world alone. But also, I love traveling with other people, because it's fun to navigate that together. So, this trip to Paris was wonderful because lots of people speak English, so you can easily, communicate if you don't speak, French. However, you people default to French, and so you're surrounded by a different language, which I love that experience. And then also, we had a whole bunch of us together. There were four of us, so it's also easy to navigate when you have others who have either been there before or who can help navigate with you. So for sure. But yeah, Canada is on our list as well. We really want to go for one of the Lego conventions, maybe both on the two different coasts, kind of coasts, but the two different sides of Canada. But we'll have to wait and see whenever that can come. Let's see, what else do we have? Brandon says, I have been to Canada one time with my relatives. Fun. Banff. Okay, cool. I have heard wonderful things about Banff. I think my in-laws went, but I need to check with Philip on that. Maybe I'm wrong on that one. Um, Regardless, though, have heard wonderful things from people who have gone. Those are exactly my thoughts, not knowing the native language, as well as not having a partner or someone to go with. Totally get that. Totally fair. And I highly recommend traveling with other people. Even though that travel to Hungary was alone, it was navigating alone until I got to the person who drove me from Budapest to um, Debrecen, which was the other city that we were headed to. It was a 2-hour drive, and the driver didn't speak English, so he had a sign. And I went and just trusted that he was who he said he was. But once I got there, then was surrounded by work colleagues who speak English and were like definitely helpful and ready to make sure that I had a good experience. And so it was different after that point, and not scary at that point, but still navigating the first part was scary to do alone. Okay, so these are interesting parts. So you may have seen these in Speed Champions potentially. It's an interesting curve that has a little kind of rounded chip out of it. And those go on the left and the right side of his rump. So we see that kind of on his back, I guess, really. But it makes a nice little smoothed area. So it looks like the front of the face is going to twist back and forth, but not the whole head, which I was not expecting. That's really, really interesting. The A-frame cabin literally reminded me of that trip. Okay, I love that. You say the cabin suite. The A-frame cabin is one of my favorite Lego sets. Philip bought that for me for my birthday a number of years ago, and it's one that we both adore. And feels just like so nostalgic to both of us, like growing up, going camping and all this kind of stuff, which actually we don't really do as adults. We probably should, or I don't know. We've talked about maybe getting back into that, but it's just a hobby that we've kind of gotten out of. So, um, but yes, we both love that set. It's so beautiful, and it's such a beautiful display model as well. It's really gorgeous. We have ours lit up with lights, and Philip just did general lights that like he did on his own, and then he bought a light kit for it finally last year, and I think he put it together in January. So now it's finally really well lit and beautiful, and it's in our bedroom. We have a big shelf that our bed kind of faces towards, so that's always a fun shelf to decorate during the holidays, and also to have Lego on year round, of course. So good stuff. Missy, I don't think I've heard from you. Where do you want to travel to? What is on your list of places to go? All right, we've got these eyes. I think these are brand new prints for Lotso. And it looks like it's the exact same print twice. So there's not like a left eye and a right eye like we've seen with some sets. We did get a left eye and a right eye with the Black Panther set, which is a really stunning build. And they sent us two left eyes and no right eye. So I had to reach out and say, "Hey, customer service, can you please send us the correct eye?" And we just got it in the mail this week. So that it took like a month and a half for them to send it to us because it had to come from Denmark. But it's finally fixed. So Philip messaged me yesterday, I think. I was like, "Hey, I fixed his eyes finally," because it's in his office. So he had won that at Brick Slopes, if you remember that, Zach, when Philip got the big Black Panther set. We finally got around to building it earlier this year, beginning of the year, maybe January. It's stunning. Okay, what else do we have? I was curious about your experience in Paris and not being fluent in French. Was a lot of French people speaking English or accommodating, or any negativity not knowing the language? Great questions all around. I was curious about what that experience would be like going into it as well. Everyone that we spoke with, there was one person that was rude, and that person sticks out of my mind because everybody else was kind and friendly. So I think that was just an anomaly. You know, people joke about how French people are rude and all this kind of stuff. We didn't experience that at all. I think partly because we were going to a lot of places where there were a lot of tourists, you know, so I'm sure that plays into it as well. But also because we're nice and friendly. And so I think people tend to respond kindly to people who are being kind to them. That's my general take on that. And so I think sometimes when people say that they experienced really rude or dismissive French people, I'm wondering if that's because they were not very friendly to them. So my take in general with not knowing the native language is um, you are in a situation where other people have to choose to accommodate you. And so it is a privilege for people to be willing to do so. And it's not a right or an expectation that you should just assume should happen for you because you don't know their language. And so I think when people approach it like, why don't they just speak English because they can, potentially, right? They're doing it from kind of an arrogance perspective. So my thought is, and also what we found is a lot of the people that would talk with us in English would like and start off by like apologizing that maybe they won't get all the words right, and I'm like, y'all, I speak one language fluently. I kind of speak Spanish, but not really. And I'm trying to get to a place where I can actually communicate in Spanish. And you speak multiple languages. Like, thank you for accommodating me. And don't worry if your word choices and everything are not absolutely perfect, because who am I to judge someone who is changing the way that they communicate regularly to make me feel comfortable. Like that is a gift that you're providing to me. So if I were to be an asshole and make fun of or chastise you for getting something wrong, like, shame on me, in my opinion. So all that said, no, we had a lot of people who switched to English pretty quickly once they learned that we didn't speak French, or they just assumed right off the bat that we wouldn't speak it and started in English from the beginning. And then also we had like some of the things that we did were hired tours where like we had paid to go on a specific tour. And so we paid for the English version of that tour, right? And so obviously in those environments, it's like that person knows that they will be speaking English for the tour the entire time with you. Um, so yeah, but it was a really positive experience all around, like really, really good. Um, let's see. Grand Canyon would be fun. Okay, I like that. Nice. So maybe that's a trip that y'all could go on together. And then you said maybe Japan because Pokemon started there. Yes, I have heard that there are these specialty Pokemon stores all across Japan that sell very specific things there that you can only get at those stores. And so all of that type of stuff intrigues me to know, like, what is it that you can get there? What makes it so special and unique? I want to see. I want to know. So. Um, I have a million places on my to visit list, so that mine would be endless. And truthfully, I think it's always like, is there a reason from a work standpoint that we're going to have the opportunity to go somewhere? If so, then that'll help dictate where we go next. And if not, then maybe there's some Lego reason or some maybe there's something that's going to prompt us to consider one place over another. An example there is our flights back from Denmark in the fall took us to Amsterdam, which Philip had done on purpose because we had talked about wanting to go to Amsterdam in general. And the price to go to Amsterdam first and then to Denmark was very expensive. So instead, we decided to go and explore Denmark more. And okay, I'm missing a part. But then we had a layover there that became an entire day because our flight arrived a little bit late. Hmm. Oh, here it is. Our flight arrived a little bit late, so we had this magical day there, and now it has Amsterdam high on our list of places to go back to because we had a wonderful day exploring and seeing that country. So that's also um, a little bit of what kind of dictates a little bit of where we go to. So just kind of like if you know someone that lives in a place that invites you there, right? You have some kind of connection or reason to prompt it. Disneyland Paris is in the snow, looks so pretty. Definitely on your list as a Texan. That is so fun. I love that so much. We had a lot of people ask if we were going to be going to Disneyland Paris, and I was like, well, no, in part because the trip was geared around our friend's birthday. So it was her trip that we were all on together. And we started from the lens of like, what does she want to do while we're on this trip? And I will also say that she was incredibly generous to make sure that we all had our own say in that too. So it wasn't like she mandated everything, but rather we just wanted to make sure that the trip was centered around her experience. And Disneyland Paris would not have been for her, and that's fine. So, but we had a wonderful, wonderful time all together. So, I would love at some point to get a chance to go there. But Philip and I also are of the mindset of like, if we were to go to Paris for the first time, we would rather not do Disneyland because Disneyland is something that we've experienced Disney parks before, right? And there's a lot more to experience in Paris that you'd have to miss out on if you did a day trip that took you away to Disneyland. So that said, zero shade to people who prioritize Disney when they go, because like I also get that we prioritize Lego stuff, right? It's the same philosophy there. Japan, you hear, has a good Lego convention. Yes, it does, and it's on my list to like magically get to go someday. I don't know if that will ever happen, but that would be so cool. I want to say that our friend Mo, I'm sure you know Mo. He always wears the orange shirts. um, and he's a Lego ambassador. And he's always at rodeo and slopes, and actually at a lot of conventions. He spends a lot of his time traveling, but I think he went this last year and had a really good time. Um, so yeah, really fun. Um, Mighty Morphin J. So you're in Texas, and I am not placing in my brain. Are you in Austin? Like, do we know each other in person? I think we do. And because your name is not like, this is the struggle I always have with screen names. I'm like, "Wait, do I know?" Okay, thank you. Oh my gosh. I knew this and I was like, I was not placing the pieces together. Thank you so much, and my apologies. I have the worst memory with connecting a screen name to a person. Like, for some reason, there is just a gap there in my brain that doesn't want me to ever remember it. So thank you for that reminder. My apologies, and I will try to remember from now on. So fun, fun. Will you be at the meeting on Saturday? I think we were just chatting about this the other day, right? Yes, it appears Mo goes to every con. Honestly, right? He is like always all over the place, and he knows so much about like how to navigate all these different things, which is really fun. He also he there's two women that we know, Jen and oh my goodness, this is where my brain is not helping me out right now. But the two women that we also see that also travel to lots of Lego conventions as well, super kind, very friendly. They've all been to all these different places, and they're a wealth of information for if you're going to experience any of the conventions in other places. So, um, yay! Chris, thank you. Yes, Jen and Chris, thank you, thank you. I appreciate that, Enrique. Very nice of you. Yeah, I know your Instagram screen name better than I know your YouTube handle, I think. But I will try to connect that more in my brain for future. Okay, it looks like we're building out the head, which makes sense because we got the eyeballs earlier. So yeah, this is gonna attach on the front. Oh my gosh, that's so clever. That's different than what I was expecting with the movement. So, yeah, this book of the instructions folding shut every 2 seconds is really starting to drive me nuts. Also, something is covering up the chat. There we go. It's gone. Okay, fixed. So let me slide this back a little bit so y'all can see. Actually, let me also slide this back a little bit. Sometimes that helps me too, although it makes it harder for me to see the chat. I just want to make sure that you can see what I'm building. Enrique, are you excited about these Toy Story sets? I think you and I have talked about you being a big Disney fan, right? Um, I was thrilled to hear that they were coming out with some new ones, new Toy Story ones. It's a franchise that I've loved forever, since 1993, to be exact. I think that was the year the first movie came out. If someone wants to check me on that, feel free. It might have been 1994, but one of those 2 years, I believe. Huge Disney fan. That's what I thought. Yeah, I was gonna say I feel like I remembered that from you. So, yeah, it's such a fun. This one's such a fun set. The alien, so cute, and the Slinky dog bookends is the one that I'm most excited about. What's interesting is I find in life that for things that I get excited about, I often want to wait on them. I like hold out until the right moment, or like I want it to be the last thing I build because it's my favorite. And it's a different approach than other people take with yeah, what? Sorry, let me figure out what I'm doing. Something looks wrong here. Oh, weird. Okay, yeah. So, okay, no, that makes sense. Okay. Anyway, sorry. I tend to take the approach of like saving it till the end, and it's interesting because I'll do that with food. So if I have a plate of food, I will eat kind of my least favorite thing to my favorite thing, so that the last thing I eat is delicious. And just the other day, I was doing that, and I thought, this is weird because I end up eating everything on my plate because I want to get to the thing I like the most and often feel overstuffed afterward. If I switch that and start eating the thing I want to eat first, then I'm less likely to completely clean my plate if I'm not feeling hungry towards the end of it. So maybe that's a new approach that I can take. But I do that with all these things, like the order that I did. Well, maybe not the order I did these because well, no, I don't know. I think Lotso and the Alien were kind of tied for me because I thought both were going to be a lot of fun. But the Slinky Dog for sure, I was like, save that one to the last because it's so cool. I don't know why I do that. Also, I think with Lego too, to some degree, sometimes I'll pick like what's a smaller one first, and then build up to the bigger ones, which is a little bit of a similar perspective. I don't know. You were learning that Chris and Jen, as well as I believe Mo's partner, girlfriend, wife, are founding members of Goat Lug. Yeah, I remember them talking about it. I think I can't remember what year that they were talking about that, which is really fun. Mo's girlfriend, he always said, um, or she always introduced herself as "I'm Mo's girlfriend." And he always introduced her as, "This is my girlfriend." And that's another person where it's like, I know her name, Carla. Ooh, I got it. I did it right this time, y'all. That was a win. But it took a very long time for me to remember her name because it was always associated with just him. And I'm like, come on, you have your whole personality and your whole life beyond Mo. I love Mo, but like, you're an individual person too. What's your name? So, I always think it's funny that when people do that. So let's see. Though agree, Chris, Jen, Mo are all awesome people, totally, who make conventions so welcoming and fun. Along with you too. Thank you so much. You are so kind, Zach. That is my goal, for sure, and is to make sure that people have a good experience, that they feel welcome, that they understand how to navigate. Because when you get to a place that's brand new, it can be so challenging to figure out like all the things that everyone just seemingly knows, right? I have always been passionate about how do you help people navigate spaces like that. And I think a lot of that stemmed from growing up and sometimes being on the outside and wanting help, but then other times seeing other people on the outside and just wanting to help. When I was in college, I did new student orientation, and then that led to my first career where I was working in that workspace for a very long time. And a lot of that was I was really passionate about how do you help people who are just starting college learn what they need to learn to be successful. And a lot of that is like, what are the unknown things, unspoken things rather, that people just assume that you may not know, right? So I'm happy to hear that that was your experience with me with rodeo. I think that's a big contribution I made to rodeo when I was helping plan it. And I would say that also saying everybody who was planning it with me are wonderful people who were thoughtful and great and helpful too. But I do think that was part of the added value that I was adding for the convention. So um, yay. Yeah, I know. Same, right? I don't know why magically I remembered her name because, as you all know, I am terrible with names and memory. But for some reason, it just clicked for me in that moment. Clicked. Haha. Okay, look, here is the torso and head. Here is the front of the head and the face. This blue thing goes on this thing, and that's going to let us turn it. This is so smart. And it just turns just enough. Like, that is such a brilliant way to do it, where the head isn't so wobbly because it's on just one ball joint. If this were on one ball joint, it would fall off for sure because it's too heavy. But then also, the fix for that is usually attach it with 2 ball joints, which then means it might be able to move front and back, but it can't move side to side if there were 2 ball joints side by side like this. So this is such a brilliant fix and smart approach to allow it to have some posability that's also just kind of adorable. Like, a teddy bear with a little head tilt, just too cute. So, so cute. 100% getting into Lego has not only the hidden curriculum of how the bricks fit together, but also meeting so many folks. Glad to have met you and starting to know more and more great folks. Yay! That makes me so happy. One of the things I've said all along too with my goal as a Lego ambassador is I want to be the person that people seek out to help them navigate the new space. And I want also for people who start the hobby and look at mocks that they see other people do and say, there's no way I could ever do that, to learn the skills that help them build their confidence so that they can grow, and eventually be able to do the things that they thought they could never do. So, so excited to hear that you also have kind of felt that, from me and also from others in the community. But yeah, that hidden curriculum thing, right? You show up at a meeting and everybody's talking their own weird language, and you're like, what are these people talking about? And it's vulnerable to ask questions and it's challenging. And I think that's where, um, some people are just really adept at it, at helping others with that kind of stuff, and others just don't understand the problem and don't really see it as, oh my gosh. Okay, this is cool. So I just put in this top part and I thought, oh no, that's going to disrupt the head movement. But it doesn't, because it goes just behind it. Like that is so well done. Yeah, good stuff. Yeah, most people I know don't understand Lego terminology and lingo, right? Like at all. At all. There's so much you have to learn in this hobby and in this community, and it can be super confusing, and it can also be very overwhelming, and people can be friendly and they can also be not friendly. And people can expect you to know things that there's no way that you would have ever known them, so why do they just expect you to know them? I think people often forget the experience of being a newbie at something, especially when they've been in environments for a very long time. So yeah, my goal is to kind of combat that and offset that a little bit. Oh my gosh, y'all, now he looks like a monkey. This is definitely giving monkey for me right now. Once we get the nose on, I'm sure it'll look a little bit more like a bear, and of course the ears. This is so freaking cute. Oh my gosh. Okay. Love, love, love. All right, let's move on to bag 4. Is that 4 and 5? Yeah, just 2 more bags, and then we get to Slinky Dog. The moment we've all been waiting for. All right. Also, I just love bears in general, and so it makes me so happy to have another one that we can put on the bookshelf by Winnie the Pooh. And what other bricked up bears do we have? That might be it right now. We need to get a few more. I guess we have the gremlin, so we can pretend like he's a bear. I want to take these concepts and rebuild Lotso in different colors. I think that would be really fun. Get like a whole crew of adorable bears. That would be great. Let's see, where's the... Not seeing the part I want. It's supposed to have a 2, but oh, I was looking at the wrong color. It's the darker version. Here we go. Yeah, I think, one of the things that I've thought a lot about with social media and posts and whatnot is, when people post within the AFOL community, they say things like, here's my Lego mock, or, my sig fig, or even just like brickheads, right? Um, People outside of the Lego community would look at a brickhead and they would say, it's kind of like a Funko Pop that's made out of Lego. Or they would say, like, it's a doll, or a character, a Lego person, right? They don't say brickheads. They don't say sig fig. They say, oh, that's a minifigure. Or they'll say, that's a Lego person, right? It's the terminology we use internally in group, can be very isolating. And when you think about things as simple as like social media reach, how do I get people who are not already in the AFOL community, which what does AFOL mean, right? How do we get people who are not already in this community to see my content if I want them to watch my video? And that's why a lot of the other, not a lot, but some of the other ambassadors will say Legos, and they will say things that sound a little bit more, um, like what you would hear from a typical everyday human, and not from a Lego AFOL who's been deep in this community for a long time. And it makes people really angry. And so then they yell in the chat and they scream about how you're so wrong and I can't believe you're using Legos instead of Lego and blah, 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 blah. And truthfully, that drives engagement for them. And so they will continue to say Legos on purpose because they know people will yell in the chat. And when people yell in the chat, more people see your content. So like there's and I'm not saying that's why everybody would do that in all the different places, but that is part of the, like, for some people, that's part of the strategy, yeah, and there's nothing wrong with that in my opinion. I think it's actually fun, and I think it's actually laughable at how angry some people will get about some of this stuff too, because it's not that big of a deal, y'all. But it is one of those things that, like, I am better able to reach people and find people outside of the community if I use words and phrases that they are already using than if I try to teach them all of the lingo that we use and expect them to, or worse, if I just expect them to know all the lingo that we already use, right? Yeah, Jean says it, right? And I love when she does. I think it's funny to see the reactions that she'll get from people. Sometimes I'm like, y'all, calm down. This is wild, wild. Okay, here's a cute little ear. Boop, boop, boop. And what's interesting is we used two of those over here, but only one is going to connect. So I'm guessing the other one just helps with like holding it in place. I don't know. We will see in a moment. Let's see. A sound break. Oh, let's see. Question. So I'm a little. Oh, yeah. Let me look closer. Yeah, most people I know. No, okay, so I'm a bit late, but two questions. Does Lego Lotso smell like strawberries? And does he have a smart brick voice box where it just shouts, "She doesn't love you, big baby"? It should. I'm so disappointed that it doesn't. That absolutely should happen. But yes, there is. Smells just like strawberry. And the reason I know that is because hidden inside is a little strawberry. So they did have a nod to him smelling like strawberries by putting the little strawberry tile in there. That said, they haven't quite got the technology to where he smells that way. But oh my gosh, y'all, I'm sorry. This is just too cute. Hi, my friends. So cute. Yeah, I love that they included the strawberry in there. I thought that was a nice little nod to the movies. And yeah, it's just a really cute set. I'm so very happy with this one. So very happy. Um, I imagine that this one will sell really well. I actually think all three of these sets will sell very, very well. Um, I think Lego was onto something here with putting together more of these Toy Story sets. Okay, let's see. Let me finish this other ear so I can put this on. Also, just like even the ear, it's a very simple thing, a very simple detail, but it's so well built and well designed to have the little bit of tan on the inside. And okay, so it looks like the top. So since there's two of these, it looks like the top clip is going to go. You can see on the inside how we've got the medium nougat piece in there. The top one should connect in there. There we go. Oh my gosh, he's just too cute. Like this is stupid. It's so cute. Oh my gosh. Like, oh, and that nose. Mm, I'm obsessed. I'm really obsessed. This is great. This is really great. Okay, let's continue building, I suppose. Okay, it looks like we're going to be building some legs. I think that's what we're up to now. Maybe some arms as well, but I think we're just getting some legs first. Let's see. And then after the legs, I'm guessing that bag 5 will be the arms and the cane. Um, so, are you able to tell us the exact price, or does anyone know how much the set will be on the first? Yes, let me look it up real quick because I have all that information. The Lotso is $39.99, and let me just type in Toy Story. There we go. Lotso is $39.99. The bookends are $149.99, and the Alien with Pizza Planet Rocket is $59.99. So the lowest price is Lotso at $40, Alien 60, and then the Slinky Dog bookends 150. which I would love to see in general some lower prices on any sets, but I'm glad whenever they do things like this, when they release multiple tiers of prices, so that if someone is a big Toy Story fan but can only get one set, if they want to save up to get the Slinky Dog, great. If they want to, um, if they only have $40, they can still get a set that's fun and cute and meaningful as well. But it's um, the prices are high for everything all the time. Lego and unrelated to Lego, right? And I think Disney tax, if you will, the IP tax that comes with these, unfortunately adds the price too. But I think Star Wars is the biggest culprit of that too. So I do think Lotso is a fair price point too. I think it's reasonable. Slinky Dog is higher price than I would want it to be, but also the reality is they will sell them plenty. They will have no problem selling them at all, right? And so that's the reality is they will continue to produce sets at higher prices as long as they continue to sell. I think that's just economics in general for businesses. And so, when people get really upset about that, I understand where they're coming from with it, but also we are part of the problem by paying the high prices for the sets that we really want to get eventually. So, I my approach with all of this is wait until there's deals. Don't be one of the people that buys things exactly. Wait for a sale. Wait for a sale. Wait for a deal. Wait for two times Lego Insider points. I buy most of my Lego directly from Lego now. When I buy sets, I don't buy from retail stores all that much, in part because we stopped going to Target, and so that was the one place that I was buying them from for the most part. And then the other option was Walmart, and we just don't go very often. And in general, obviously, I get sets through the Lego Investor Network, so that's part of it too, and I fully acknowledge that. But the ones that I then want to spend my money on, I will buy it from Lego directly, and I will wait until there's two times points because that's pretty frequent, and or until there's a gifted purchase that I really want, right? If there's some other reason that I can stack rewards ish, if that makes sense. That's my thought with a lot of this stuff too. So um, there are so many people who were day one buyers, and I've gone day one. It's actually a lot of fun. It's a ton of fun to be around a lot of other Lego builders who are excited alongside you about the sets that are coming out and all that kind of stuff. So no shade to that whatsoever, but they're the ones who are also going to be paying full price for it. So, and you don't have to pay full price. There might be a way to get it cheaper eventually. So, the other thing that I notice is for me, um, if I wait for a month, and that's an arbitrary number, but if I wait for a little bit after things release, new releases come out later that I get excited about too, right? And eventually I kind of hit a point where I'm like, oh yeah, I forgot about that set. And it's not necessarily one that I really need per se. Like there are some sets that instantly I know, oh my gosh, we have to have that. Some examples for me would be the Disney Villains set that had the books and the VHS tapes. Absolutely one that we had to have. It was so cool. I would say Slinky Dog for me would be one like that. I would say, um, the Jurassic Park gate when that first one came out, and now I would say the Jurassic Park T-Rex, skeleton. Like, there are certain big sets that I'm like, "That is one that I not have to have, but I really, really want." And then there's lots of other sets where I'm like, "Oh, that's cute, that's fun," but, like, because I'm an ambassador, I'm getting a lot of them, which is wonderful, but if I wasn't an ambassador, I may choose to wait on buying it until there's a sale, and then I might actually find a different one that I like better and not end up buying the one in the first place, if that makes sense. So, like that point of view, Justin. I don't know if I would want the bookends plus pay a higher price point just to get this Slinky Dog fig, but at the same time, would be nice. But a mid-price set, yeah. And that's truthfully, like I think that's the reality with all of this stuff. With when people get mad at ambassadors for the fact that we get free sets and all that kind of stuff, which those things happen. I get it, and I understand, and It's we are lucky to be in the position that we're in for sure. Um, but I think people will also forget that like for one, I will buy my own sets too. Sometimes, what am I doing? Sorry, I jumped right into. Okay, here. I just let me put these on and then I'll finish what I was saying. Oh my gosh, these little feet are adorable. They're little nubbin feet. So cute. Let me rephrase what I was going to say. As an ambassador, I get lots of sets. Of course, it's wonderful. I'm excited about it. I love that experience, and it also is time consuming and takes a lot of time to dedicate to building and reviewing sets and stuff too. So, but the volume of sets that I get prior to being an ambassador, I probably wouldn't have this amount of Lego because it's expensive and I would be really intentional around where I'm choosing to spend money versus where I'm not. And I would probably spend more money on mock stuff than on sets. Actually, no, that's probably not true. I still would buy a lot of sets. I think now I spend more of my money on mock stuff than I do on sets because we get a lot of the sets. That said, like when I get the Damn it, Star Wars. I'm catching on that Star Wars Lego should wait for the May the 4th sale and then wait or for Black Friday. Yes, agreed on both. It makes logical sense, but of course, I also fall for the day one purchase and random sales. Totally. It's so easy to, right? And I think that's where the thing that usually gets me with sales is if there's a gift of purchase because it feels limited to that time only versus a sale. It's like, well, a sale will come back on eventually. They'll have this at a lower price again, but that gift of purchase will never be here again. And I think that mentality can get us to spend money unnecessarily. And I say that being someone who's very guilty of that. It's something psychologically that works for me that they've figured out, and I think works for a lot of the people who are Lego insiders. So they're smart in those senses. I feel like I've been rambling, and I was trying to say something, and I don't even really know what direction I was going, other than um, we get the opportunity to build and review sets that maybe I wouldn't have bought. And sometimes that wins me over completely to a brand new franchise or to a different style of building. And other times it's like, well, I learned that I don't like that, and that's okay. And I think that's where when people get upset about it, it's like, well, they also don't know the back end of things of like how we find out about what we're reviewing and that kind of stuff. Because sometimes it's kind of a surprise, like what's actually going to show up at your doorstep. And then you get it and you're like, oh, this is not something I wanted. Perfect example of that was I accepted the Disney wave that came at the end of last year, and it was full of all these little Disney princess doll things that I think are really ugly. I really don't like them. And the more that I look at them, the more they've grown on me a little bit. But I still would never buy them for myself. And then I was on the hook to review them. And it was like, well, I still have to show people these, but I don't have to be like, oh my gosh, it's the cutest thing ever. I can be like, this is not for me. And that's fine. And Lego is fine with that too. So but the expectation or the frustration people get at like the free set stuff, like I understand where that comes from, and also the amount of time and effort and stuff that goes into it too. If people knew how much time that takes as well, sometimes that might make them not be as envious. I don't know. Um, and I'm not saying that to say don't feel what you feel because I get why, everybody's entitled to whatever they want to feel. What? Lego Master Justin doesn't get all his Lego for the two Lego stores in Austin? Get out, unsubscribe. Right? I know. Yeah, so I do I spend now with my Lego budget, I spend more of it on mock supplies. And I will spend it on the sets that we really wanted that we didn't get for review. So an example there was Mario last year. And that is I had the most fun building that. It was the best, and I'm so glad that I got a chance to build it. And that came out of my own money. The same with Hocus Pocus, and the same with Nightmare Before Christmas. Those sets are sets that like I would have loved to have gotten for review, and because we didn't, I will buy them because I love them so much, and had the best time with them too. So this got real rambly. I don't know, y'all. Sorry. Cute little feet though. They are positioned. Oh no. Okay, they do twist. I was going to say they're positioned where they don't twist out, but that's not true. They twist perfectly fine. So they are on axles that have the round pin side on the feet that lets you twist them. Okay, back five. No more rambling. All right. The other thing is, as a Lego ambassador too, we get the opportunity occasionally to request sets that are already on store shelves that we can use either for review or activities or other things. And they just have to be ones that are already on store shelves. And some of those can be used as well as like giveaway items and things like that. And so the way I choose to go about using that, what we call activity support, is I split it a little bit with like what are some specific activities that we want to do and maybe sets that we really wanted but didn't get as a review set. And then what are some sets that I can use as kind of giveaway, kind of as gratitude for my community and the people that are participating and engaging in it. So I've chosen mostly to focus on that through the lens of my build challenges, because I want to encourage people to participate and engage. And so that's an easy approach with that too. But like another example of one that we did was the piece of content that I just shared yesterday, of the actually just shared today on YouTube, but of building the Eiffel Tower set in Paris. That was one that I requested from Lego, because I knew we had this trip and I knew it was going to be a set we would want to get anyway. But what an amazing opportunity to get to build it in Paris, at our Airbnb that had this incredible view. So I like that there's those opportunities as well. But and while I use some of that for ourselves to say like, hey, this is a set that we really wanted but didn't get for review or something, I also really love to get to share that with other people too. And the way that we do that through their approach also allows us to not pay the shipping, because Lego will just pay the shipping if we know the shipping address of who it's going to. And so that's where, like, if I'm doing a giveaway, I have to be really thoughtful and intentional in advance, to know how I'm approaching the giveaway and to make sure that it's run before I have to submit the forms for it. And there's also a risk there that the sets that I want to use for the giveaway might not be available by the time I actually have the information I need for it. So there's a lot of complications that go there. So also, I've had people like ask, "Are you ever going to do giveaways?" And what I will say is, what I've learned with giveaways where you're just like trying to get people to follow you is, I want people who follow me and who are a part of my community to be people that are loving and supportive and kind and good people. I don't want people to follow me because they want to win a prize. And so, if what happened here? I did something wrong. Just a second. If I do something that's like, hey, help me get to 10,000 followers, there's nothing wrong with that, but people do that all the time. But for me, some of those people might be homophobic and not kind. And I have had enough of that in my life to where if I don't have to deal with that, then I'd rather not. So I would rather, oh my gosh, I would rather host a giveaway for people that have been in my community for a long time who I know, and I am connected to and feel like they're good people than just to do like a random thing that's open to anybody. Because also, a lot of people will follow you, but they won't engage with your account at all. They just follow because they want to win a prize. And then once they don't win, they either stop engaging with your content altogether or they unfollow you. And it's like, what's that? I'm not all about that life. I, of course, would love for my accounts to continue to grow, because ultimately I want to provide a positive influence in the community. But I don't need to be doing that at the expense of my own mental health. And so, yeah. Hey, that was more rambling. I said I wouldn't ramble anymore. What else do we got? Let's see. So Enrique, that's how they get us guilty here too. I know it's true. They're so smart, and they know exactly what they're doing. And marketing works effectively, which I think is really funny. So I'm definitely razzing your friend. I know you are, which is fun. I appreciate, and also Zach, you can always razz me, and I will always know that you are razzing. So no worries. Know that I'm always going to know that you're a good person who's just teasing. I'm the same, trying to budget Lego and always looking for deals. Plus, I'm just super shady for not being close to a Lego store. And Texas has so many. I mean, um, yeah, we do have quite a few. And I would say, when you count bricks and minifigs, we have four bricks and minifigs now in the Austin area. Now, I will say two of them are close. 15 to 30-minute drive for me. The other two are much further, but still, we have four like right in this area, and we have a Lego store at the mall. And so we are very lucky to have all of that within our just like right here at our fingertips, which is wonderful. And I have been to other cities where there's none, and I'm like, this makes me so sad. I'm so sad for everyone who lives there and is miserable because they don't have a Lego store. But truthfully, I'll actually run into that quite a bit with people online because this is another example of what we were talking about with like the in group community, people knowing things, right? Have you ever tried to explain to someone how to customize a minifig? Where do you buy the parts? How do you find the face that looks like your face? Can you design your own custom printed torsos, right? If you've ever tried to describe it to someone, it's exceedingly complicated to navigate. So, like, when you're talking to someone and you're like, oh, people will ask all the time, especially with our vacation photos when we share our sig figs on vacation with us. Oh my gosh, how did you get a Lego that looks just like you? That's so cool. Well, it's not as simple as I go to the Lego website and order it, right? It's, oh, well, I over time have collected a number of CMFs from the collectible minifigure series and eventually found a face that I loved. And so then I started to buy up every time I saw that one CMF because that's the face I chose, which was stupid and expensive. And I also buy parts on Bricklink. Oh, wait, what's Bricklink? Well, Bricklink is kind of like eBay for Lego builders. And you can also buy parts directly from Lego, or you can do it at the Build a Minifigs part in the Lego store. But truthfully, there's not like a lot of examples of things that you can use there. There's not a lot of variety, so you're limited to only what they have in stock. And it's so complicated to explain to people, right? And so those are the types of things where it's like, how do I help someone understand and learn all of these things that they need to know? Oh my gosh, it's a thumb. I just realized that's a thumb. It's so cute. Okay, and also his little hand can curl in and it can twist like a wrist. That's so cute. Okay, I'm sorry. I'm sorry. Anyway, um, all of that is so complicated to understand to explain, right? And so I'll find that's where I was going with this. Talking to people online, they ask where you can buy these things. If you tell them, oh well, you can get spare parts on the pick a brick wall at your Lego store. Well, what if I don't have a Lego store? Oh, that's a good point. Well, you could buy them off Bricklink. What's Bricklink? An exceedingly complicated website that I don't really know how to describe easily. Right? There's just so much that's like it's a lot to understand. And that's all stuff that like many of us have learned and figured out, but not everybody. So I have three Lego stores and two bricks and minifigs near me. Hey, okay, lack of Lego stores equals very unhappy people. I think so. I think basically we could solve the world's problems if we just popped up more Lego stores everywhere. Oh, I just shake it off as just magic. I love that. Yeah. How do you design this custom minifig that looks like you? Oh, just magic. I wave my magic wand and it appears. um, but yeah, that's the type of stuff where if you go to a lug meeting, oftentimes if you ask those questions, people might be like, "Oh, go on Bricklink," and then they'll move on with the meeting. It's like, wait, what? What are you talking about? This makes no sense whatsoever. So, and that's where again, I think a lot of people just don't really remember being new to the hobby, and or just don't think about what it takes to like help onboard someone into something like this. Um, And because I worked for so long in new store orientation, and I even worked in that type of work with within my profession, kind of for new employees at my company and stuff, like my brain is geared towards thinking about what are all the things that people are going to need to start to learn to better understand and navigate and fit in, right? So I get that that's not where people's default is, and that's okay. I think that's part of my superpower, that I do think that way, and other people have their own superpowers too. So, and we all, it takes all kinds. So. Da, 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 da. Luckily, I have Missy to help me with all the Lego lingo. Yes, Missy. So smart, and so helpful to have a Missy in your back pocket all the time. I have y'all to teach me all about Pokemon. So I appreciate all of the help that you've provided me in that new hobby for me, new to me hobby. Um, okay. This is so cute, y'all. I'm so impressed with this. Okay. Another new to me part in this set is this one. I've not seen a piece like this before. Have y'all? So it's basically like a 2x4 plate, but then it has a downward bracket with 4 pieces on it, or 4 studs. Let's see. Oh my gosh, I've been behind. I'm sorry. Let's see. Like there was one time the Pick a Brick wall was filled with 30 unique parts. That's amazing. I love when it's completely packed and you're like, this is incredible. Because usually it's the same parts that we've seen on the wall for a long time, and then a few that are wonderful. Luckily, let's see. Yeah, help you. Bev's also such a great builder. Surely that helps. That does help. I agree. Bev, you are so clever and interesting, and I think it's so fun to see what you both bring to the meetings when you bring your mocks. It's always full of storytelling, which is where my heart lives with mock building. So I love that so much. Missy is also my parts supplier. Nice. She helps me find stuff. I just hand her money. Okay, that's a great deal. That is a great situation for both of you, I think. Yeah, you were providing a necessary bit with supplying the money. So, of course, Bev. Um, I've loved how great our lug is. I've met people in other lugs who have wonderful lugs, and I've met people in other lugs who really struggle with like not having a lot of friendly people, or it being all men, and there's like one woman who's in there who's like, I feel so alone in this space, or whatever. Like ours, we have a relatively good gender breakdown, and we have a lot of friendly people. I feel like we have a really good group. And I think that's partly why we have such a lively community, and such a big, um, big plug community. It's full of really good-hearted people. So, and it took me a while to trust that, to be honest. Like, I can be outgoing. I can, flip the switch and turn it on, and be friendly, and all that in the moment. But my default is to be nervous and to question if I'm going to be welcome in a new space and all that kind of stuff, because I've had plenty of times when I haven't been. And so it took me a while to really know, is this a space that's going to be supportive? And I am so happy now to know that that's true, and to make sure that others see that and experience that as well with our group. So thank you all for also providing that for me as well. So I definitely think this may be a good next month purchase. Totally. It's so cute. Definitely plan to recolor to either traditional teddy bear or Pride Rainbow Bear. Yes. Okay. Pride Rainbow Bear. That would be so fun. So would you want to do it like lines like this way, or this way, or just like the feet are red and orange and yellow arms, or how would you go about recoloring it for the Pride Bear? I'm curious. My first thought was stripes, but I think stripes would be hard to accomplish. So um, I love this so much. It's so cute. It's just, it's so cute, y'all. So we're done with him, but we still have his little accessory. So he needs his uh, hammer slash, it's like a weapon, kind of. He's got his cane that he walks on, but he also uses it kind of as a weapon, if I remember correctly, in the movie. Um, Same here. Thanks to you as well, Justin. Oh, that's wonderful to hear. Our lug does have a lot of nice people, very welcoming. I agree. It's been really, really good. So, way beyond my abilities and budget would be the recoloring and making them Care Bears. Yes, I was just thinking Care Bears because I was like, oh my gosh, that's like the perfect space for a fun little, basically, mosaic, if you really want to think of it that way. And making them Care Bears in a rainbow pattern, like the Everyone is Awesome set. I love that. Ugh, Enrique, I love that so much. How do we go about doing this? Like, how do we make this happen? Like, I want to see this happen. That would be so fun. Oh my gosh. Okay. Something to think about for the future. This is also where, you know, how we talk about project support with our lug. So, one thing that we could even suggest for project support is that we get like, oh, tie dye. Oh, I love tie dye. And tie dye would also be like a little bit easier to do, I think, because you wouldn't have to be as specific about what colors are what. Um, for lug support, we could see about requesting 10 of these sets so that we get the core parts for this, and then requesting a whole bunch of extra parts in recolored versions to go about making, or even six to do like a standard red, orange, yellow, green, blue, purple. Um, but like that's the kind of stuff that like the way that we've approached lug support so far has been to do big mock type setups, but some lugs do more along that lines as well. So where it's like customizing a set. That's also I think what we did with the flowers for rodeo is similar to that kind of idea. So I think Lego would be open to that. I don't know, but not that who knows when time would actually work out for that and whatever. But I like the idea and the thought on it. So I would love to see these as Care Bears. I'm now really obsessed with that idea. Okay, this is just gonna be so cute. And now we put on all of these curved pieces. So we make the T, but the top part is one plate taller. So that's gonna make it look the way that it's supposed to. That's the most descriptive I'm gonna get with that. I'll see if you can understand what that means on your own. Um, let's see. Whenever I put these on, there's little divots on the bottom of them that drive me crazy if they're showing, and so I always try to position them so you do not see them because I don't want that visible if I can avoid it. And sometimes it's on the left and sometimes it's on the right. It's looking like for the most part it's all on the same side this time. So we're gonna have some that are visible and that's okay. Yeah. Oh well. All right. So here's to show you what I was talking about. Since it's one plate taller, you can see how like this part is a little bit more raised up than this part. So everyone is awesome. Lotso Care Bears, right? I love this. Every Lotso is awesome. Okay, so we use just this little bit of what do you call it? Brackets. Brackets. We use that for him to hold, and so you can twist his wrist. So his arm doesn't twist, but his wrist does. And then he can position this to, oh my gosh, I'm obsessed. This is stupid cute. It's just adorable. Okay. He's just so happy. Okay, so let me just show you the fun things with this. He's happy. He's angry. The simple flip of those eyebrows makes a huge difference. Also, he can tilt his head. What do you mean you don't want to leave? I don't know. I'm trying to think of something Lotso says, and I cannot think of it right now off the top of my head. But this is like where he's like really angry and he uses this as a weapon. Oh, like that, he throws it. But then also, you can just make him happy again, and he can be like, I smell like strawberries. I'm a happy bear. Now he looks a little curious. Let's give him a little head tilt. Huh? It's just, this is so cute. It's like you're watching the movie. That's so kind of you. Far from it. I can tell you I failed miserably at mimicking Lotso, but you just gave me a boost, so thank you for that. This is so cute, y'all. I'm obsessed. I am obsessed. Every Lotso is awesome, right? I really wanna do this now, y'all. Oh my gosh, I really wanna do this, and I don't know how we're gonna go about doing this, and I don't think there's time. So, it's maybe just an idea that's gonna live in my brain, and every time I look at him, I'm gonna think about it until it happens. So, oh my goodness. Just so cute, though. Also, though, his face is very different than the face shape of a Care Bear, I think. Like, with if I look at this, I know instantly this is Lotso, and I'm curious if we recolor it. Let's say we recolor it to be a brown bear. Do we know that it's Lotso in a brown bear costume? Like, is it obvious that it's still Lotso based on the shape? Because I kinda think it is, but maybe not. Maybe if you recolor it, you wouldn't feel that way. But I do think the face of a Care Bear is a little bit, like, wider cheeks. I don't know. Something to consider, but this is such a fun idea, so let's keep thinking about it. I don't know. Okay, I'm gonna put him aside, and we are going to begin. Oh, yes, awesome. It's 3:15. We're gonna begin the big one, but before I do, since I don't know if y'all were here yesterday, I can't remember if everybody was, but I just want to show you again the other set we got. Right? I thought Care Bear had whiter cheeks. So we've got the adorable pizza slice that is purposeless but is fun, and can't attach to his hands, which makes me a little sad because he's supposed to be holding it, but he has to just balance it. So maybe that's for Lotso's hat. Oh, oh, good. I thought it went in my coffee. But this is the full vision. So cute. So cute. Here's the backside so you can see the way those fins work. And then let's see if this works while I hold it. It does. It moves up and down. It is so cool. So cool. And then he's adorable. He's just so cute. Like really, really cute. Let me set this down and show you his posability. So arms can just kind of curve up and down, like not too much. Hands can also twist at the wrist. The head can go up and down, can also rotate in a full 360, and the feet can angle out a little bit too. So just adorable. I really feel like everybody needs 3 of these. They in my mind, the alien is always a trio because so much in the movie, it's almost always in with all 3 of them. So let's put him back. Oh goodness. Get him over here. As you can see, I still have all my Pokemon builds up. And if you know Philip, you know that he's not a fan. And so he is ready for me to clean up the Pokemon builds. So I have been working on getting my Lego room set up so that I can move them in there, but it's taken more time than I wanted to. Okay, Lotso's going to go here in front of Pikachu so that you can still see him. Okay, shall we dive into Slinky Dog? I'm just going to look through the rest of these pages. Oh, wait, y'all. There's more. Oh, okay. Remember at the beginning? Oh my gosh, this is. Okay, this is so cool. Remember at the beginning of the build, I said, what are these yellow pieces for? So in his stomach, underneath these 2 little spots, we have these random yellow axle pieces. And they just get covered up. And I was like, what's that all about? Why would we build that into it without a purpose? It did not make sense to me. Well, Lego said, he's too cute to stand all the time. Let's arrange it so he can sit. Shut up. That is so cool. So he sits, and then, even better, the back opens up, and these just rest in there like so, and you cover back up, and that way you don't lose those parts. I'm sorry, but how smart. Like, Lego designers are so incredibly smart. I just am super impressed, and now he's seated, and that's even more perfect. Like, this is just so freaking cool. If you wanna see something that's equally as cool, if not maybe even cooler, I have a video of me doing this with the, 101 Dalmatians dog, where it moves from downward facing dog, like, playing to seated up. So cool the way that they did it so that the back opens up and you put in the extra parts that you don't need and all this kind of stuff. Like super, super cool. Yeah, now now it's a day one purpose. I'm sorry. I'm so glad I just looked through the rest of the instruction book because I was like, oh, there's a few more pages. I had forgotten that it even shows him seated on the box, but like, oh my gosh, y'all, this is really cute. Oh my gosh, yeah. Stuffing! Oh my gosh, yes. That's what it is. That's what those pieces were. They were stuffing on the inside. You could see a Pizza Planet truck in the same style as the D2C cars. Yes, please. That would be amazing. That would be amazing. But yes, I'm so glad that we just took that minute there. So thanks for coming on that journey with me. All right, now are you ready for the Slinky dog? Do do do. Just trying to get him to hold this, but he's not wanting to. Okay, he's just gonna sit here. He's gonna just chill. I already opened the box so that I could arrange the bags. But this is what we're building next, and you can build it where it's attached to the two books so that you can put books on the middle, or you can actually have the books laying flat and he can stand on top of it, all connected. So we are going to build him, I think, the original way, where he's attached to the books because we have space on our bookshelf specifically for that purpose. So let's dive in a minute once I get some space. Okay. Yeah, that build is really cool, but that feature blew my mind. I was not expecting that. And I know it shows it on the box, but yeah, like I just wasn't expecting that at all. Oh my gosh, I've never experienced a bag that's harder to open for instructions. That was weird. It was like the glue was holding it in a weird way. All right. Here's our sticker sheet. It's kind of boring, but they're really purposeful stickers. So yesterday I gave you homework. I said go look up Knick-Knack and Tin Toy if you haven't yet, so that you can know what they are. And all right, I'm gonna go get more coffee, but before I do, I need to know from you which instruction book we're gonna do today, because I don't think we're gonna get through all of it. We have purple book with a little spot for Woody. We have teal book with a little spot for Slinky Dog. And we have buildable Slinky Dog. So you tell me in the chat which of the three you want me to start with. I will go through all three, but I will get through probably one today and the other two tomorrow. And while you're weighing in, I'm going to get more coffee because I'm addicted. That was something that, oh no, we're out. I will not get more coffee. That was something that our friends teased me about on our trip. Everywhere we went, I got more and more coffee, and they were like, "We didn't realize the volume of coffee that you drink." And I was like, "It's okay. Don't judge. It's fine. Here, I'll get some water. That's probably better for me." All right. So, regarding the homework, did anybody do their homework yesterday? And or do you just know what those references are to? Tin Toy and Knick-Knack. See, I need This guy. All right. Votes are. Yeah, those are the only stickers. I was surprised. I thought there'd be many more. Let's see if they give us the minifigs in the first bag or keep us anticipating. So it looks like we're going to get the minifigs probably in the first bag of each of the books. So the teal is going to be Slinky Dog and purple is Woody. So they're kind of spaced out throughout. Okay, and we have teal, 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 agree, teal, slink all the way. You just want to see the little Slinky Dog. That's fair. Yay, you saw Knick Knack on a Finding Nemo VHS. Look at you. Yes. So we will do teal. If it were my choice, I would have said this, but I think we'll do this and then we'll do this and then we'll finish with the purple book because that's the order that we're going to go in. So this is bag. Ooh. Bag one. Okay, we have the answers. So yesterday people were asking about or I think I was making guesses as to how many parts um were in the Slinky Dog, the minifig for it. Oh, that's the order that the set goes in, or that the bags go in. You do the teal, and then you do the Slinky Dog built, and then you do the purple. So that's what we're gonna do. I thought we were changing it up, but I guess not. All right, let's see. Do you ever drink coffee straight, or do you have to have a creamer or latte style? If I don't have creamer, I will drink it black. I like coffee of all types. And so, yeah, that's not a concern for me. I prefer to have cream. And I usually do oat milk or almond milk um, because regular cream messes with my stomach. Here's the minifig, and it's freaking adorable. This is cool, y'all. Thanks for joining today, by the way. Question to everyone as well. You can't do coffee black. Interesting. Okay. We put this into this. I just want to see the yeah. I don't love just plain coffee without creamer, but I will drink it that way. Because cream is what makes cream and lattes and whatever, that's what makes it less good for you. I stopped doing as much sugar-y stuff on the inside, in my coffee as I used to. And so I get a very bland, plain oat milk creamer, and it adds just enough for me to feel good about it. Okay, y'all were right with the teal box. It's 2 parts. Here's the first, all the way down to the tail. So cute. And then here's the head. Oh my god, I'm obsessed, and I'm thrilled we finally got Slinky as a minifig. That's what we're gonna call him, right? More or less, right? So that slides on this little bar at the front. He's just so doobadoo. I love him so much. He's so cute. Yeah, minifig right away, so they did not make you wait at all. Love the aroma coffee, but don't drink coffee. I've heard that from a lot of people. And Missy, you drink Dr. Pepper. Cool. Yeah. Brandon, Enrique, y'all coffee drinkers? Excuse me. Oh, I feel like I need more coffee if I'm this tired. Um, jet lag is a weird thing, and it takes way too long to get over. I feel like it's been more time this time than I was expecting it to. Kind of but lingering, not terrible, but yeah, that is freaking adorable. Just the cutest. I'm gonna put him back here so you can see him. He's so tiny. Ah, he's so cute. So cute. Um, Yeah, maybe if y'all are interested, we can all go get coffee together someday. Have a coffee date. And if you don't drink coffee, you can bring your Dr. Pepper. That's fine too. Or you can just sit there and smell the coffee, but not taste it. Lots of teal. This would be a great parts pack for those who want the parts. If you want lots of purple and teal and some navy and such. Um, I like that they've designed it so that it has like a little hidden compartment to hide the minifigs. I think that's always a fun little added piece too. Tea and Dr. Pepper are definitely your go-to before coffee. Okay, fair enough. Fair enough. Isn't he adorable? I'm just yeah. Can we get a close up? Yes. Let me help you with that as well. So I showed you before, but I'm just gonna maybe I'll just like build with one hand and hold this up the whole time because he's so freaking cute. Oh my gosh. So yeah, he's got like you can see the little like curve in his slinks in his slinky body. His feet are designed to where I want to say. Let's see. Yeah, they're 5 studs apart, which is an interesting length, and his head can tilt left or right. Oh my gosh, it's just he's so cute. So cute. Good job, Lego designers. Okay. I decided this week to do the Toy Story week and do 3 days of streaming because I just knew his front legs do not move. They look like they should, but they do not. Yeah, he like flexes a little bit, but I don't think you want to be. Yeah, I think you have to be pretty cautious with that. I wouldn't want him to break. So, um, anyhow, I decided to do the live stream all week long, and by all week I mean Wednesday, Thursday, Friday, but still 3 days of streaming. In part because these are 3 big sets, and I knew that if I didn't do streaming, that it would probably take me longer to get through them. Doing it in live stream format is the easiest way for me to make sure that I'm checking the boxes of actually building these out. And we had some sets kind of pile up while we were in um, Paris, and so I wanted to make sure that I was making good progress on them too. Um, but I also thought because my energy is a little bit low with the jet lag, that maybe this would be helpful to kind of keep my energy up. So I feel like this actually does energize me a little bit. It's both tiring and not at the same time. So I didn't think they moved, but it kind of looks like it might. Right? It does. That it has almost like some divots that make it look like they could be on swivel pieces. Can't help thinking and hearing that Jim Varney voice, and that was so perfect for him. Right? Just spot on, perfect. Okay, yeah. So yeah, take a look. Like if you look up close, it looks like those front legs could move, which is odd because they don't. Yeah. I wonder if that was a design choice and if that's connected to the way that he actually looks in the movies, or if that was like related to how the printers print the pieces. Or I don't know if print is right, but the molds do their work, you know? I don't know. Yeah, but it does look like they could for sure. So, okay. What am I doing here? Okay. But yeah, I am finding that I'm more tired today than I was expecting I would be. And also, I've been going to physical therapy. And so that is, I mean, it's like going to the gym, more or less. And they're pushing you, and that's good. But that also makes me tired, which is interesting because, like, people say working out is supposed to energize you. And I think it probably does to some degree, but also just makes me tired. I want to be the person who goes to the gym regularly and like actually gets energized with working out and that kind of thing. And I just haven't really, at some points in my life, I was able to be that person, but it's not who I am today. So the older you get, the harder it is to get back into those types of rhythms. And I was never like a gym bunny. I took a yoga class when I lived in Miami, which was a long time ago. And I loved it and went regularly. It was a weekly thing that I went to twice a week. Actually, I think 3 times a week, and it was wonderful, and that was the first time, and maybe only time, that I was ever really, really successful at going regularly to a gym, and it also was the time when I saw the most growth in my flexibility and my self-confidence in some different ways and whatever, so, like, it's definitely worthwhile to do, but, it's been a very long time since I've been able to do all of that, so, um let's see. Do you have a favorite set that has released this year? Great question. Hi, Andrew. Welcome. Um, let's see. Let me think on that. It's cool he has a posable head. Yes. Agreed. Agreed. Hi, Brett. Good to see ya. Welcome. So do I have a favorite set that has been released this year? So far, I would have to say the Monet. It is gorgeous. Really, really beautiful set. And we just had the opportunity to be in Paris and see the real things. And so that adds a lot more to it. But I have to say, I think the Lego designers nailed the details there in a way that just makes it a stunning replica of that beautiful piece of art, and is a true tribute to an incredible artist. So that would be one that I would say is among my favorites this year so far. The Tintin rocket ship was also really cool and very interesting to build, and one that I don't know that I was expecting to be as excited about, but that I ended up loving. So maybe those two come to mind off the top of my head. There's probably others, but yeah, those two. Now with these Toy Story sets, not gonna lie, they're climbing the ranks. That Lotso that we just finished building is so much more impressive in person. Like really, really a cool build. Oh, you know what? I totally skipped past. The Pokemon sets were really cool, and the bat symbol is also a really cool build too. So that was a bunch of answers. I have a hard time ever picking a real favorite because I tend to like a lot of things, and for me, a lot of my build experience and process is I love to learn from building, and so if I'm learning something new from the build. Um, then I'll typically like it more for different reasons. And usually with a lot of these bigger builds, I tend to like them a lot. So, oh, thank you, Zach. I appreciate that. Very kind of you. What about you, Andrew, and everyone else on the feed too? What is a favorite set that you have from this year? Any that like jumps out to you as like that one is amazing, whether it's one that you have or one that you plan to get. And maybe even was there one in 2025 that you really loved? Like, I think it's, when I look back on last year, I feel like we had some really outstanding sets. I would say the Dalmatians, the large one, would be among my top, and the Jurassic Park um, skeleton was incredible. The T Rex skeleton, and the Keith Haring will always be among my favorites. That was a really fun build, and a tribute to an incredible artist that I love. And my last pick from last year would be Beauty and the Beast Castle. Really, really solid. So the Big Botanical Garden, yes. I can't remember what year that came out, but that's such a beautiful set. And such a fun build. I'm super impressed with how you can remove things in ways to get your hands in better, and like open walls in ways to make minifig photography better. That was something I think they nailed with that set. That just is a chef's kiss. Like really, really well done. So Let's see. Same here. Always had hard to pick a favorite. Project Hail Mary. That one is on its way. Well, not on its way. It's stuck in. They're waiting for stock, but I cannot wait to get that one. It's one that I ordered. Jurassic Park Jeep. Yes, it is sitting under the table, and I will be building it eventually. But haven't gotten around to it yet. But we will be watching them with the movie or watching the movies and building it together. And then the Up characters, yes, those are really good too. I have that set as well and haven't built it yet. But I really love that they came out with them because the bird in particular, I was really excited to get. Anything that's a sculpted build is going to pull on my heartstrings. I really feel like I learned the most from those, and I just enjoy character building. So you just built the Paris City of Love set. Isn't it beautiful? It's really incredible. One set you need this year's Jaws. That was a really wonderful one. Caution that I have for you is it's very tall and very wide. And so it doesn't fit on most of our bookshelves because it's too tall with the mast. And then one minor gripe that I have with it is there's like a string that goes up and over, and it always falls down. Like, no matter anytime you just even lightly bump against it, that string comes down. So if you find a fix for that, let me know. It's a beautiful set though. It's a really, really good one. We have a hard time figuring out where to display it because it doesn't fit underneath shelves, in bookshelves for us. Let's see, what else do we have? The Stranger Things house. Yes. That movement feature, just perfect. Just perfection. The movie's getting an extended theatrical run. Which movie, Brandon? Jaws? I'm guessing. Um, you have the smaller Artemis. Yay! That's fun. That's really cool. Um, there's some really good sets that have come out or are coming out this year for sure. Um, I was saying that, we had some sets piling up that I needed to get through for reviews, and so um, some of them I'll just be doing like some quick short videos on to share with people. So one is I just built all of the minifigs from the new CMF line. Those are really really fun. I also got to interview the designers, and so I have a soft spot for minifigs in the CMF lines in general. But that was one of the most fun interviews I got to have at Fan Media Days. So I'm really excited to share those with you though, because they're really, really well done. And just fun characters to include. My favorite is the chocolatier. I think she's just adorable, and I also love the marching band kid. I think that's a really fun one as well. But those, and then I just built the happy plants. Not the happy plants; they're the rockin' plants, which are like the cousin to the happy plants, and they're really cute too. They're really really cute. For sure, they're a lot of fun. So we've got the Ninja Turtles brickheads to build soon as well, but that's one that I promised to build with Philip because we both have such nostalgia around that franchise. So we both grew up with Ninja Turtles toys and everything. So Project Hail Mary. Oh, cool. They're going to do an extended cut. To be honest, movies tend to be too long for me in general these days. I have a hard time sitting through longer movies. And Project Hail Mary is very long, and I didn't feel like it was long. It didn't feel long to me at all. So that was one that I loved, but I don't know if I would want an extended cut because it already was pushing the limits of what felt too long for me. So, or do you? Oh, extended theatrical release run. I'm just silly and missing the point. You're saying it's going to stay in theaters longer, which kudos. Such a good film. Such a good film. The reason I ordered the set was as soon as we got out of the movie, I was like, that was a beautiful film and deserves to be captured in Lego. So, yes, I need that for sure. Usually, movies nowadays have a 45-day window before they end up on streaming services. Thank you for clarifying. I clearly missed what you were saying before. Um, yeah, back in the day, when I was in high school, I worked at a movie theater, and I remember that movies would stick around longer than they do now in theaters. But then also, if they were doing well in award seasons and stuff, sometimes they would get re-released or they would get extended release times as well. So one that I remember that was in our theater for over 7 months was Shakespeare in Love. And part of that was because it won the Oscar that year, I think. Um, So, but I remember being like, wow, this has been here for forever. So, Lord and Miller intervened with Amazon MGM to make the extended run happen. I love that because more people need to go to movies, y'all. That is one of Philip and my favorite thing to do together. It's something that we share a huge love of, and it makes me so sad that theaters don't get quite the viewership that they used to get, right? Um, and also, it's expensive, so I get it. But okay, this is an interesting little piece. So it looks like for what's going to look like the paper in the books, has a sliding mechanism, and I think that's going to be what reveals our adorable little Slinky dog friend. Let me just get that to focus. Ta-da! Hi, friends. Glad to hear that the movie's getting praise. Our lug is thinking of doing a movie party. You should. It's so good. It is so good. If you haven't seen it yet, I highly recommend. It's actually one that I kind of want to go back and see again. So maybe I'll talk to Philip about that because we have Alamo passes, which is where basically if you go to see 2 movies a month, you've more or less paid for it, and we used to go to that many movies, easily, and, we've kind of slowed down a bit with it. So it's we went to see Project Hail Mary, but that might have been the last movie we saw, and, yeah, this would be a good reason to go back, so, um, yeah. Let's hope someday ticket prices go lower than they are currently. Agreed. That would be wonderful. It's I definitely notice my age when I say things like, "I worked in a movie theater in high school," and then when I talk about what the prices were and whatever, I'm like, "Wow, I sound like that curmudgeon who's get off my lawn." But, y'all, this is gonna age me. When I worked at the movie theater, our matinee price went up from $4 a ticket to $4.25 a ticket, and the irate people who came forward to protest that price hike, 25-cent price hike. People were livid about that. And then it went up to $4.50 before I quit. It's just funny to me now looking back on that. I'm like, that is nuts that that's how little it cost to go to a movie. Like, oh my gosh. And also, I remember how much concessions were. And um, truthfully, movie theaters don't make money off of the movies, they make money off of concessions, which is also why now you see a lot of theaters selling merch and stuff because that's how they are able to stay afloat. Um, and we'll buy merch. Like, I have Wicked stuff from all the Wicked movies because we love it so much. So we're suckers for that kind of stuff. But also it does help them stay afloat. So it's I think it's worth it. But yeah, the prices, like it's ridiculous now to think of. Can you imagine spending $4? And I want to say that the evening movies, so that was the matinee price. I think the evening price was $5. Like it wasn't really anything. And now, yeah, here's my curmudgeon coming through. Okay, here we go. This is so cool. This is so cool. Okay, so this is attached to where we pull this out. Okay, yeah, that makes sense because it says 10 toy. We pull this out, and I think that's where Slinky is gonna rest. That's really cool. Really, really cool. Let's see. The fact that we are now saying back in my day definitely shows us our age. I know, it's so embarrassing, but it's so true. AMC and Cinemark have dedicated merch sections in the theater lobbies. Isn't that weird? Like, it's so weird to me. And I don't know, like Alamo, it wasn't weird to me because that was always the experience with Alamo. And Alamo Draft House started in Austin, Texas, and that's where I live. And so, like, it was a very Austin thing to get to go to the movies and buy merch. Like, that was just kind of a part of the fun when you go to see a film. And the experience of going to see a movie and having merch available has just like to me was associated only with Alamo. And it wasn't a lot of merch, but it still was, some. And their merch has grown and grown and grown over time. And now they have a whole website where you can get all kinds of stuff. And also, they've grown around the country and they got bought by Sony, which was a big mistake. Big mistake. It's now bad. We don't like it. That's also the old school curmudgeon voice coming out there again too. AMC even has merch on the Nicole Kidman speech. Oh, really? Oh, I loved that. Like, I loved that ad campaign to get people to go back to the movies, but do we need merch on that? I don't know. Listen to me. Such a curmudgeon. I'm gonna now you have me interested though, so I'm gonna look up that merch and see what it looks like for the Nicole Kidman go to the movies stuff. I mean, there's merch for everything. There's merch for Hallmark Christmas movies. Like this is my Hallmark show shirt. This is my um yeah, those types of my ugly sweater Hallmark Christmas movie merch. It's just you can find stuff for anything. And if you can't find it in stores, you can find it on Etsy. Like someone came up with the idea already. I mean, that's part of why I got into not crocheting. What do you call this? Embroidery this year was I was like, oh, I want to have a shirt that a sweatshirt that like talks about all the fun things I do in Animal Crossing. Like I can't find it, so I'm gonna make it. Like so silly, but it's a meme. Yes, guaranteed merchandise. That's very true. That is very true. That's how our world works these days. And also, things are a flash in the pan. That is such an old term phrase. But, like, a meme today will disappear tomorrow and people will forget all about it. I was actually just looking at all of our Barbie stuff because we were redecorating the inside of our house. And I was like, oh, let's move the Barbie Lego stuff out to have on display out here for summer. And I was like, this is sad to me that it already feels like this is so in the past when that was just like, what, 2 years ago? Was that right? 2 years ago, I think. And I think Wicked is going to feel a little bit similarly until they come out with another thing related to it. And it felt like this huge cultural moment. And then all of a sudden, now it's like, whoop. Although that is one that I am like, will keep alive. So no worries there. Okay, so here's the beginning of our book. This is the secret compartment. I like that opens and that this can also like bend down. That's cool. And I think that's where our friend Slinky Dog is going to go. So I'm going to hide him in there and just see. So interestingly, because his spring actually is a little bit springy, getting him to like pushing his feet down is not wanting to work. Oh, wait, does he have to go that way? No, wait, no, he should be able to go this way. Oh, okay. Yeah, no, that works. Yeah. Yay. Okay, and then let's turn his head so that you can see him. That's cute, y'all. Barbie was not 2023. It's been 3 years? Shut up. That's crazy town. You're right though, because it came out before I was on Lego Masters. Like, it came out that summer, I built the Barbie and the only reason, like, I can connect to those pieces is because I built my Barbie, dream house, and I had requested the Icons of Play set to get all of the different skin tone faces, and I showed how you can use those to mock up, Barbies and Kens that would populate your little dream house, and that was my review for that set. And I remember that being one of the first sets that I got to review. So it was like it's all connected because that happened right before we moved, or I moved to Atlanta for filming. That's wild. How is that even possible? Okay, it is 3:53. I think what's going to happen today is we are going to get through this section with the teal book, and then I'm probably going to call it quits for the evening because I've got some other home things to take care of. I know we're old. We are, Zach. I'm glad that you said we, though, instead of you. I appreciate that, for sure. It was funny, actually, when we were filming Lego Masters, I wasn't I mean, I was feeling a little bit older, but I wasn't necessarily feeling old per se. But the show did a little bit of sorry, getting older. Right, exactly. We're not old, we're just getting older. Um, Anyway, when we were filming, I was feeling my age a little bit, but not too much. But then during the wedding cake episode, they made a big deal about like pitting our duo team of me and John and Nikki and Britt against the young kids, and I was like, oh gosh, like the age gap does feel pretty big now. I don't love that so much. So it was just kind of funny to me. You're not that shady. Hey, you can be, it's fine. The library is open, if you will. Um, da, da, da. Oh my goodness. But yeah, I think the show was like both an experience of feeling like I'm feeling younger than I used to feel, or like it's reminding me of like feeling younger, which is great, and then also like wow, I feel really old. Like all combined into one, which is really fun. But for the record, yeah, you're older. Good call, good call. It's true. I am. Um, yeah, not by too much, but I am. You're right. I'm also older than Philip, and I love that people never think that's true. I like to tease him about how he looks so much older than I do. Um, but it used to happen even more when I didn't have facial hair. But then once I got facial hair, it was that kind of went away a little bit. I stopped getting carded once I got my facial hair, or once I like kept my facial hair, I should say. And I was like, oh, wait, I used to complain about how people always thought I was so much younger, but now I'm like, wait a minute, don't you remember that I look young? Isn't that how this works? Oh dear, oh dear. All right, we are getting closer to putting on the side here that'll finish off the spine of the book, but I'm really curious as to what we're going to do on this front side. It has to look like book pages, I would assume. So I'm eager to get to that point, which will be in this bag, I think. So um, it is mostly hollow, which I appreciate. That's going to help with weight for the books as well, and it's going to be hefty enough, I think, to be able to stand up as a bookend. So, but yeah. I remember I have so many stories of like I remember talking with people who were new at work who assumed I was much younger because they had worked at the company longer than I had, but I was like a decade older than them. um, and then also like having some of the young employees tell me about how old they felt with the new employees getting hired, and I was like, you have no idea. Like, you have no idea. Wow, I remember getting carded. I know. They're there. If you want, I can card you next time I see you. Are you sure you're old enough to get into this place? Um, the other thing is moving to Texas, and actually moving to the South. When I moved to South Carolina, that was the first time that I was like surrounded with sirs and ma'ams, which didn't happen in Colorado. We didn't call people sir and ma'am. It just wasn't a thing. And I remember being like, this is weird. I don't like this. It feels so old and uncomfortable to me. Like it's just not. I'm not a sir. And I think there's other factors that feed into my thoughts of that too. Now that I understand myself better, but still, like it was just like this is. It both felt very like old fashioned and old to me, in general, but also just like not right. Like this just so confusing to me. And it's very prevalent in Texas too. So like we have a lot of friends who like when they have kids they'll introduce their kids to me or whatever, they'll be like, oh, this is Mr. Justin, and I'm like, this is weird. I don't, the formality element of it uh, just is uncomfortable to me, to some degree. So um, so that's a piece of it for sure. All right. So interesting that we're getting to the top here and we're seeing potentially how these book pages are going to go on. There's more teal. So there's got to be more that's going to hide some of this, but I'm a bit confused as to what I'm doing here. So this is where the magic of Lego designers, you finish something and you're like, oh my gosh, this is incredible. How did they think of this? All right. Because like book pages wouldn't be sticking out above the spine, you know? I don't know. I mean, obviously, we'll see in just a minute what's happening here, but I'm so curious. All right, and there's gray here towards the bottom, which means it's probably going to be covered up. Because I'm thinking this is the front of the book too. Okay, yeah, so this is all getting covered up with book pages too. Interesting stuff. These are build techniques I've built books, brick built books before, and the way I did mine was much simpler than this. And but this is better by far, for sure. Like there's more to it, I think, than what mine had. So although mine work for what they were designed for, but anyway. 20 pages of that not gonna work then. Oh, okay, that works. Wait, 20 pages of that not gonna work. Then, oh, wow, that works. Oh, I get what you're saying. Yes, that's definitely the experience where it's like, I have no idea what this is doing, and then we're gonna get to a point where it's like, "Oh my gosh, that's genius." So, yeah, I know that's coming. I trust that that's coming, we'll put it that way. I rarely ever build a Lego set where I get to a point where I'm like, "What? Why did they do that? That makes no sense," and then it still makes no sense at the end. Like, I feel like usually you're like, "Oh, whoa, how cool, I never would have thought to do it that way," when you get to that magical point, so, yeah. Right? Yeah, but in the moment of building, it's like, this is really confusing. Okay, I'm trusting the process here, y'all, but I'm not understanding why these book pages are sticking out from the top of the book. All right. So we were talking about people's opinions on Lotso and on the alien. What are y'all's thoughts so far on? I mean, I know that it's just the book so far, but how this is coming together. Is this one that you all are excited about, or is it one that you're still skeptical on, or like waiting to figure out if it's worth it for you? Okay, we're getting the other part. That's the part that says 10 for 10 toy. That's going to go there. Let me get my brick separator to attach the sticker. I might get all three if I have enough money. Awesome, Brandon. That's cool. Yeah, it's a really wonderful trio of sets. I'm impressed for sure. And feel like they did a very good job with them so far. I mean, even what's shown on the box for this one, it's cool enough for me to recommend. It's a really well designed vibe. Like I feel like they captured the look of Slinky Dog perfectly. One of the things that I think is the biggest challenge there is getting the springs, and I think they did a really good job with it. And I'm curious once we build it if I'll still feel the same way once I see it in person, or if I'll feel like it could have been better. Um, but that was the one thing that I've always wanted a brick built Slinky dog. I never thought to try and build one myself. So it's really fun that we got one. So I'm a fan. All right, so here's the other part of the book spine. This is going to go across the top. Okay, just as I thought, these papers pages have to be covered with something else. So I'm guessing, oh, they did the math perfectly. Okay, y'all, they are smart. We've got a lot of these pieces left, and these are going to, I'm assuming, work their way around to completely finish this. And it's a perfectly smooth line, which means Lego math is mathing. So good for them. Good for them. The hidden minifig is a really fun touch. Not sure if I have space for it, but this is my favorite of the three. That's, yeah. I think I agree. I think that this will be my favorite of the three, especially once I build Slinky Dog. We have so many books in our house, and we are always in need of more bookends. So I'm actually really excited for the practical nature of this one, as silly as that sounds. And I would say that having just built Lotso, that completely won me over. I thought it was adorable and was going to enjoy it, but I was shocked at how much I love it. And so that was a really wonderful surprise. Okay, y'all, they're so smart. Like, to do this where we used brackets on the top and we finished it off with plates on the side, tiles on the side that perfectly align with the side of stacked bricks perfectly tall. Like, this is so well done. And it's gonna look so sleek. I'm very impressed. And it gives then what a book is supposed to give, with having kind of the divot that around the book covers, where the pages fit within it perfectly. Like, really, really, really cool. Um, I was not expecting this to be how they did the that part of the spine of the, or I mean that part of the book cover. It's just really cool, really, really cool, and I love that they added a very simple but effective um, navy line around it, just to add more visual interest for the book. I think that was a smart move too, and one that I feel like is almost an expected move if you're going to design a book. So I think that matters and is important. Um, but yeah, like, I'm so impressed so far. Also, these books are bigger than the ones that I've built and designed, and they actually fit better with real books in real life. So I think that's good. And then we get these, which I've gotten in the Wicked bookends, and in some other sets too. But it's essentially this interesting piece that has studs on the one side, and then it has like a little place to put a rubber tire on the other side. And that way, when the book is sitting on the shelf, it's actually sitting on these rubber tires that barely stick out just enough to help make sure that it stays and put. Which, for these to be practical bookends that actually work, that's a pretty important detail. So here we have it, y'all. Here's our book. If we turn it, we've got this section here. This makes it easier to grip. I think, obviously it also makes it more visible from the side. You can see those little bumps sticking out, which isn't perfect, but I actually don't mind it because it tells you where the secret compartment is, and it makes it easier to grab. I think if you didn't know, it'd be easy to confuse or forget where that is. So I don't mind that. It's also a very easy fix. If people want to replace that with cheese wedges, they could. These holes matter for connecting Slinky, but if you have them stacked, you're not going to notice them. So, things will be stacked on top of that, which is fine. But that'll attach to where Slinky, the brick belt one, attaches. Slinky Dog is adorable. So, so cute. And then y'all look, like, I love it. I love the thoughtfulness of making sure that the book has the, like, extension around the outside edge. Very, very well done. Yay, good job, Lego. Okay, so we're gonna add this over here to the stack of things. I'm gonna show y'all one last time the Lotso that we built because he's just too cute. So right now he's in seated position. His head does this, which is just perfect. I love that. His eyebrows can be turned to be angry face. Now he's a really mad Lotso. And then these pop out. They go in down here. And you open his back like so. Get out the stuffing, as Brandon so aptly named, to put these pieces on the front. And then this goes back on the back. And for good measure, let's give him his cane, which just snaps right on like so. And now we have a standing tall, angry Lotso. And I'm so impressed with this too. Like the articulation and movement of the arms, even down to the shaping of this part of his body. These angles that curve on the top, it's not a perfect circle. It's more like a pear shape, and it's perfect. And done in a really interesting way using some clips in there. So this was a very excellent build, and one that surprised me at how impressed I am with it. The alien is also really cool, and it has the great movement where you rotate it with the hand crank, easily attach it to a motor, and it's on its own. So really, really good. Let me look at the chat. So we have, I wish there was a large scale Pizza Planet truck. Yes, I wish we would bring it back. They did have one that was, I think, minifig scale back in the day, and that's a set that I am kicking myself for having never got. So it'd be really fun if they would come out with like a UCS version. I could see them maybe coming out with one that would be in the scale of Speed Champions, like they've been doing for other movies. That would be really cool, and especially with Toy Story 5 coming out, I think it'd be a good timely time for them to do that. Hidden minifig is a fun touch. Not sure if I have space for it. Yeah, we talked about that. In a perfect world, with unlimited storage, I definitely get it. Andrew, totally fair. We are chock full with so much Lego that we definitely need to start paring some things down, and finding ways to reduce what's out and about in our house, because we have no more room. We are in the process of figuring out what furniture we can buy for our guest bedroom that will basically be overflow storage of some Lego sets, and will also be a little bit of a filming room for me to do some, not my live streaming because that's right next to Philip's office, but for me to do like some simple uh, over the top videos where I'm building, and we do it in time lapse format and that kind of stuff that I do for some of my reviews. And so it's purposeful, but also it's practical with needing more space, which is tough. Um, yeah, Lego takes up so much space. Also, we just need to unbuild some things, which is hard to do. Lots of definitely a good price, mid-range set to definitely pick up next month or thereafter. Alien seems like a pass if you're not a big Toy Story Disney fan. Bookends probably a pass. Totally fair. For me, these three I would have loved and just been super excited to see on store shelves. I probably would have saved money to get the bookends. That would have been the number one pick for me of these three, and it would have been one that I would have gotten a few months later when I found it on sale, because I don't like paying full price for, especially for sets that are that expensive. So, and then probably just mostly because of the price point, and figure I could get another set that you'd rather get in its place. Totally fair. Agreed. And I think that's where, when you're picking and choosing across all of the wonderful things that are being released, you do have to make decisions on where you're going to spend your money and time. Sets have been getting medium to small size, but it compensates for shelf space. That's nice, and I think that's something that's helpful to think about is what can fit, and also for me, what fits together in a curated fashion. Like I want to have, when people look at our shelves, the shelves make sense and be cohesive and have purpose. So, like right now, what we're doing is I'm looking at the bookshelf across the room. We cleaned out and removed some of the sets that were up there kind of for like wintry end of Christmas, but still wintry time frame. We just moved those down. I'm putting them up in storage. And now we have a clean shelf that's going to have our Toy Story and Pixar stuff all together. So we have the Luxo lamp, and then we've got these three that are going to go up there as well. So they'll be on display for a little bit. And in my Lego room, which is behind this wall, I have two shelves, and I have a bunch of bookshelves behind me, but I have two floating shelves, and one I intended to make a gaming shelf that would have like my Mario sets and my Fortnite sets and the Pokemon sets. And the volume of sets that we have and the size and scale that they take up, it's way too big for it. So I need to redesign in my head where I'm gonna put those things. One of those 2 shelves right now is occupied with all Batman stuff because I love Batman, and that was also just really fun to build all those sets together, so gotta take some things apart, I guess, and that's okay. Yeah. Good stuff. Well, thank you all for joining. It was good to chat with you again. I learned today that I need to make sure that my live streams are not set as unlisted. So the one for tomorrow is listed as public now. So you should get a reminder that it's on. My plan is to go live tomorrow, probably around 1:30 again. So that's 1:30 Central Standard Time for Austin, Chicago time zone. And yeah, we will continue and finish the build of these bookends tomorrow. That's the plan. That's the goal. We have three, four, five, six, seven, eight. We have 9 bags to get through. And today we did 5 bags of Lotso and 2 of the first book. So that was 7 bags. And the other day we did, I want to say it was 6 bags with the alien. So 9 is a little bit hefty to get through in the afternoon, but I'm gonna push through and do it because I want them finished, and I wanna be able to have them on display. So if you wanna join, feel free to join me tomorrow, 1:30 PM Central Time. After my stream, tonight, you can join our friend Ben's stream, Ben's Brick Builds. He's a good buddy of mine and a good friend of a lot of people in the chat. He's in the lug, with me and, a good fella. So definitely check his stream out if you're looking for more fun. But as for me, I am out. I'm gonna go take care of some stuff around the house. Thanks, y'all. Build kindness. See you tomorrow.